You're Chris. No, I'm after that. And he's like,
we're live, lads.
well,
it's Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. I'm Pete.
I'm Daz.
I'm Richie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm joining another podcast. Daz, run the titles.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you're one of the crowd. A vision of weakness you don't.
That's the last time I'm going past. Very good. First one of the night, straight through. Well, I was also going to say Pete's got a mouthful of food because I've seen him off screen scoffing. So first, before we start, what the fuck are you eating before we even start?
It's my treat for tonight, Burger King.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Pete,
I've got mine ready as well, mate. So I haven't even eaten it yet.
Yeah, that'll be cold now.
Yeah.
I tell you. Well, here we are yet again. Wednesday, 8:02. We fucked up the intro. We brought Pete on, telling him how professional we were going to be. He's eaten. Chris's dinner's cold. Daz got the intro completely wrong and confused everybody before we started by saying the wrong thing and the wrong day. Not only the wrong name, but he then said also it's Friday, 8 p.m., which confused the hell out of me because I wasn't sure what show I was meant to be on. But it is Wednesday. It is 8 p.m. It is the Europa final. We don't care who wins because we've no affiliation to either team. We are getting questions in, even Keith, even Mike. Not much. Obviously, football finished. Newcastle finished in 12th. Don't ask me how, but we did. Can't believe Steve Bruce wasn't called up, but Graham Jones was to the England team to help with the Euros. I'm absolutely shocked and devastated that Pep got Manager of the Year and Bruce didn't, because, I mean, he's the pundit's choice. So how did that not happen? Lads, how is Steve Bruce? I'm telling you, he's off to Inter. Conte's gone. Bruce is there, in like a shin. He's got to be best manager in the world. He's got to be heading to Inter. Best manager we've ever had. So listen, Mike, do the right thing. Let him leave.
You know what? We need to get that going. That Steve Bruce is the pundits champion.
Yeah. You know, hashtag pundits champion.
He used to be the people's champion. He is the pundits champion.
It is. Yeah. Let's get that trending. Let's see. Actually, anyone that's watching this, let's see. Can we get that trending? Hashtag pundits champion Steve Bruce. And if you've got a picture of him, ideally in a bathing suit or holding a kebab, get them up and let's get them in. That'd be great. So what's happening, boys? I've ranted enough. I haven't really got that much to rant about. Not too much going on. Obviously, I missed Sunday's show. I do apologise. I had a bit of a mad hour. A couple of bits going on, so I had to duck. So in fairness, thank you very much to Daz, who jumped in rapidly. We did have a little bit of a panic because I was still logged on and I actually wasn't in my house, but it didn't cause any issues. So, so what's happening, lads? What is going on? How is everybody yet again after another week?
All good, Martin. All good.
All right.
You know what?
Has anybody had the Indian variant yet? Apparently, it's all over Ireland. We haven't even come out of lockdown. It's fucking all over the place.
Serious?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 3,000 cases in the UK today, highest since April. So that's you lads will be back in lockdown before August.
Well,
Did you get your jab yet, Martin?
No, I haven't had it. I'm still waiting.
Jesus.
I'm not sure. Apparently, not only do the Russian hackers have the date of my COVID jab, but they also have a picture of when I got my belly button fixed 9 years ago that was in the HSE system, which is a different story, which I'll tell you on another night. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is, yeah.
I think it's time to move on.
Let's move on rapidly.
What was wrong with your belly button?
Basically, I ended up with a hernia.
That one in the comments.
Yeah, put your answers in. Yeah, if you know what happened to my belly button, put your answers in the comments, and whoever gets closest to the answer with what happened, we will give you a T-shirt giveaway. There you go. Because we've got one to give away. We may as well do something.
Okay, let's move on.
Here we go.
Loaded headlines, not loaded belly buttons. Yes, we'll go straight into it. First up,
belly button
as it's on, we might as well talk about it. The Europa League final Villarreal against Manchester United. You've already stolen my thunder. Do we care who wins this? Well, I suppose for the likes of Jamie, we'd like to see United win for him. But apart from that, then a few more sound Man United fans maybe. But or are we supporting the Yellow Submarines in Villarreal?
Oh.
I think I'm more just like English football to do well, so that's how I look. I'm not. If they lose, they lose. But if they win, it's good for English football.
Yeah. That's fair enough, Rich.
And they've
They say the band were close with their answer. That's all I'll say.
Oh, there are suggestions coming in. We're getting off. We're going to be talking about this all night.
Mike is close. Yeah. Keep going. No, it wasn't that. But well done, lads. Right, let's make the quiz harder. Right, keep going. Man United. Yes, no, I don't care either way. So that's my piece. Move on. Next.
Okay, hang on a sec. The next one is the Champions League final. Man City versus Chelsea. An English team has to win this one. But who are you shouting for there? For me, I just might as well see see City win it at this stage. Let them win it and then let them never win anything again.
I'd agree.
I think Chelsea are going to win it. I just fancy Chelsea. So? I think they're just Do you know what it is? I think Tuchel's going to have them a little bit up for it, a bit more. And I think I think his luck's going to roll. I mean, it'd be nice to see. I was glad to see Aguero score at the weekend with a goal and that, and kind of go out because I thought it was quite fitting of a champion. I think he'll be quite a loss to the Premier League. I think he's been a great servant, and I thought it was really. I thought it was quite fitting to see Pep very emotional about losing him and a few tears. I thought it showed what a really, really good manager he is. But yeah, I'd love to see Aguero go off with it, but I just fancy Chelsea, so I'll be the odd one out.
I think.
I fancy. City.
Go on, Mitch. Go on.
Yeah, I fancy City. I don't know. Chelsea seem to have switched off the last few weeks. Since they beat Man City in the FA Cup semi-final, they've been a bit hit-y-missy, and obviously lose the FA Cup final against Leicester, and then to lose to Villa on the last day of the season when if Leicester had got a result against Spurs, they wouldn't have qualified for the Champions League. So then it puts more pressure on Chelsea to get a result on this Saturday. So I don't know. I just think Man City, the rest players and stuff like that to be able to put his best side out. And to be fair, they've demolished Everton at the weekend with probably not I wouldn't even say a full strength side. I know their second sides are pretty good as well and would be the first 11 in most of the other teams in the Premier League. But to be fair, they demolished Everton. Everyone looks as though they're just vying for that place to be on the starting line of being the squad. And I think it's made for Pep to win it this year. So I'd like City to do it as well since they haven't won it before.
I think it's kind of the holy grail for them, isn't it? Really, it's the only one they haven't won. So
yeah,
I fancy City to win it. I can see why people are saying Chelsea because it kind of obviously they were sweating a bit at the weekend, weren't they? And it was looking like Chelsea could have lost the FA Cup, not got in the top four, and then potentially not won the Champions League. But now that they've secured the Champions League position, they probably they should still be up for it, don't get me wrong, but it's not a do or die now. Whereas I think if they hadn't got in the top four, they'd need to win the Champions League.
They could probably relax a bit.
Yeah, a touch. I mean, obviously they're still going to want to win it, and every player would want to win the Champions League. But I think it's set up for City to win. I think that City are the best team, and as Rich has already said, I'd love to see Aguero win it. I think that'd be a fitting end to his City career.
Yeah. I'd go with that. I just think there's a potential spanner in the works. I do agree with what Martin says in that Chelsea are very much a cup team, and regardless of their form, they can always pull it out. It's one day, it's one game, and Chelsea on their day can be very, very dangerous. And for me, I do think that Man City will have too much. I worry about their nerves, because they've been building for this for years now. In terms of like it's been said, it's the holy grail. It's the one that they want more than anything. Are the nerves going to get to them on the day? I actually think it's going to be quite a cagey game, and it wouldn't even surprise me if it goes into extra time. It's just got that feel about it. But I do think it'll be an attacking game. I think both teams will go at it. But I do hope that Man City edge it.
Cool. So we're saying all Manchester.
No, I'm going Chelsea.
No,
As in, so yeah, the majority of us are saying all Manchester are bringing the trophies home from Europe.
Oh yeah.
I think
It must mean City are going to win, because I remember how Martin's predictions went well this week. So you have to listen to the other rest of the lads. We're pretty good.
That's fine.
That's an early dig there from Richie.
That's fine.
He's feeling confident.
I can see Martin's mind going. He's working on some.
Yeah, he's going to come back with something to do with the beard.
No,
the lack of beard.
No, I won't. No, I would never ever take a personal dig on screen. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
can I contest that? Or
apart from you, you dossip. But do you know what I mean? Like every, you know.
Can I contest that as well?
If you, well, you deserve it. In fairness, you know, when you're looking at Richie and stuff like that. I mean, is it not like? Well, I mean, we work with Mind, Body, and Soul and stuff. I mean, it's good to give like our autistic friends a help, and you know. It's nice to let Richie on and have a, you know, give him a shot in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, what would he be doing otherwise? He'd be sat in a room bouncing a ball against a wall.
Yep, there's people in the chat as well that want to contest that one. I think
everybody knows I love everybody here. We'd just be messing.
All right, we'll move on.
Let's move on.
Let's get out of Europe and go back.
Richie knows I love him. I always call him Gorgeous Richie. He knows that. It's the best looking one on the panel.
Yeah,
bit of a challenge from Pete now, to be fair. If I was that way inclined now, Pete would be my kind of. Anyway.
Jeez, what are you on tonight, Martin?
I'm just here. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, Daz.
Belly button talk, innit?
Let's talk about the playoffs. The Championship and the League One playoffs. Of course, Sunderland didn't make it in to the playoff final, so there's a few people sorry about that. Not here, but so we've got Blackpool against Lincoln City in the League One playoff final, and that's coming up on Sunday. And the Championship playoff final, we've got Brentford against Swansea, and that's coming up on Saturday at 3:00. And if I remove my banner, I'll be able to see the time of the other one. The 3:00 as well for the 3:00. Yeah. So who you having here, lads?
I think I fancy Brentford because they were. I think when we spoke the other week, we obviously Swansea were up in the game. We weren't sure whether Brentford could come back, and in the home leg they won 3-1, and really turned on the performance. Obviously, Ivan Toney scoring yet again. So I think for me, Mike's just put it up there. I would be going for a Brentford and a Blackpool double.
Me too. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's me. Brentford, Blackpool. I would love to see Lincoln do it though, just for the crack because they beat Sunderland. So I will also be cheering Lincoln on this weekend. I
think with what you just said, I think you know it's one of those fairy tale things. With you know they were in the conference a few years ago and they made the way all the way to the Wembley in the League One playoff. I do think it's a hurdle too far this season. You know, unfortunately for them, I think
for Lincoln or for Brentford.
Yeah, I just think Blackpool have got it sorted this year.
They're firing goals in as well at the minute, like they're scoring for fun.
Yeah. They did, to score 6 over 2 games against Oxford was quite a good achievement. I know they conceded 3 in the second leg last Wednesday, but the other one's an interesting one because obviously Brentford have got a lot of good attacking talent, and Swansea are one of the best defensive teams in the Championship. Obviously represented by Newcastle's very own Freddie Woodman. But I'm just trying to think. I don't know. I think it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to extra time. That one. I think possibly Brentford might make it in extra time on that one. So
I think they're both good games, though.
Oh,
they will.
I agree that.
They will.
Proper football.
Really, in the Championship one, I don't really mind who goes up. I personally, I would really like to see Brentford go up because they've been so close. And as you all know, I'm a fan of Thomas Frank, and I'd be interested to see how he does in the Premier League. So I would like to see Brentford go up, but on the other side, you know, it would be nice to see Freddie Woodman get promoted with Swansea, as Rich has just said, and hopefully we let Swansea have him for another year. And I'd love to see him on loan at Swansea in the Premier League and see how
I think he's asked to go back, isn't it? Was over Twitter this afternoon. Apparently, he's asked to go back. So
yeah, and I don't see why not, because at the moment we can't replace Dubravka. Dubravka's got to be the number one. He's got to stay between the sticks. So
an abundance of keepers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, whether that means we get rid of Darlow or not, I don't know. But yeah, in terms of the Championship playoff, I don't really mind who goes up, but I think I'd probably say Brentford. In terms of the League One, yeah, you're absolutely right, Martha. It'd be funny if Lincoln come up, and obviously they beat Sunderland, which was we were all pleased to see. But yeah. I would like to see Blackpool in the Championship as well, and they probably are a Championship club, to be fair. So I'd say Blackpool.
Yeah,
cool.
With Blackpool and Lincoln, obviously it'd be a sort of, like you said, a fairy tale for Lincoln to go up. But I think Blackpool just scored too many goals. Their attacking threat is by far superior. But from a Championship point of view, I'd love Swansea to go up, purely for a biased Newcastle perspective. I actually think a couple of years now with Freddie Woodman in the Championship, I think he needs to go to the Premier League. At his age now, he needs a year in the Premier League. So I would love him to have an absolute masterclass and get Swansea up and have a year playing Premier League football. Because, you know, look, he's been made to be Dubravka's like next in line. He is going to be, but he's not going to be in the position to sit on the bench. He needs to be playing football.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic
he can't do a Darlow and spend 22 games sitting on his backside.
He's better than Darlow.
He's better than that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's better than Darlow. Like, for me, Darlow is a number two. You know, he just is. He'll be at the top of the Championship at best for the rest of his career.
I think Darlow will move in the summer.
I hope so. We'll
have Dubravka and Gillespie, I think, next season.
Yeah. I'd go with that.
Cool.
Have we got another young goalkeeper coming up through? Is it Nathan Harker, is it?
Harker, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the first.
Nathan Harker got released.
Oh, did he?
Nathan Harker got released. Yeah, he got released last summer. Yeah, last summer.
Ah.
Who's been in goal for this season then?
I don't know, but I'll find out for you, though, lads.
I thought it was Nathan Harker as well.
No, he got released last year. The only reason why I know it is because one of my best mates' sons goes to goalkeeper coaching, and Nathan Harker's one of the guest coaches. He got released last summer.
No way.
You have all the connections, Richie. You also
Sorry.
have connections.
What happens in grassroots? Even people don't tell you that.
Yeah.
Lads, I'm going to change topic. I'm going to go on to the topic that we skipped last week because we ran out of time. I want to talk about the 6 players that got inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. So we'll take them 2 at a time. So first up is David Beckham and your friend, Chris, Stevie G. Deserved, called up, lads? Thoughts?
Absolutely, they have to be in there. I mean, Gerrard, you know, service to Liverpool and goals scored. Probably one of the best English players of a generation, and I think everything you want a captain to be. Now shown those same leadership skills in taking Rangers to their first championship in a long time. Beckham, one of the best right wingers we've ever had. England captain, best crosser of the ball. I think I've certainly seen in my time watching football, free kick specialists. So yeah, absolutely deserved. The 2 of them, I think both deserve to be in there without a shadow of a doubt.
Cool.
I'm totally agreeing with Martin because I think one thing I've noticed as well when we've been doing the all-time 11s over the last few weeks, I think pretty much every team has had Gerrard in it, or he's been in 90% of the teams. And over the last couple of weeks, there's a few more people started to put Beckham in. So yeah, to be fair, I think there should be. There was always going to be in the Hall of Fame, which is who was going to be the first inductees to follow Shearer and Henry. So yeah, I think he agreed. He was deserved to be in the first batch that went in alongside Gerrard. Sorry.
Yeah, no, in total agreement with the boys. I mean, Gerrard, I don't even have to discuss it. Like Gerrard should be in 100%. You know, for what he's done for Liverpool, as Martin said, captain, leader, Champions League winner. Obviously, didn't win the Premier League with Liverpool, but he certainly carried that team on many occasions. In terms of Beckham, do you know what? Beckham, as Martin's rightly said, is one of the best crossers of the ball I think we'll probably ever see in our lifetime. Like that's how good he was. And he probably, in terms of football, he probably is a little bit underrated, but also and he probably wouldn't want to be remembered for this, but I think a reason why you have to have David Beckham in there as well is like kids of this era wouldn't realise how big David Beckham was. Like when you think he went on loan to Preston and then came back to Man United and was, part of the the class of 92.
Class of 92,
yeah. And just when you actually think how he went from there all the way up here, like he so at one point I think people it was recognised in the paper that more kids abroad recognised David Beckham's name more than like Jesus. He just went huge.
Exploded,
and yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? He was the most popular guy in the whole world.
The thing with I think with Beckham, there's two or three things for me. If you look at him when he went back to Man United, the reason who's that got two things on?
Richie.
I can see two are Richie at the bottom. The thing with Beckham is he wasn't what you would call a naturally gifted footballer. So he wasn't a Gaza. He wasn't one of these that was a naturally gifted footballer. But what he did was he had great work ethic. So he stayed on the pitch behind at training, and he hung. I watched a thing of him where he kind of had the goal, and he had a rope with a tire hanging off the corners of the goal, and he would spend hours after all the players left the pitch at training, just taking free kick after free kick after free kick after free kick. So what he lacked in probably, being a naturally gifted footballer, he made up for in bounds by his work ethic. And I think when you look at the factor of when he got sent off for England for the kick out against Simeone or whoever it was, Batistuta or whoever it was.
Yeah, it was Simeone.
And he they had effigies of him in England hanging off the pubs with a sarong on and everything else. And, to then go and take that free kick against Greece at Old Trafford to send us through to the World Cup and then go to where he got to. I think not only is it work ethic, but I think his integrity and his resilience as a not only a footballer but as a man, I think was just outstanding and an absolutely well deserved rise back to the riches and where he should be. So yeah, I have a lot of time for Beckham. I think he's one of the best footballers I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's one of my icons. There's not many that I look up to and admire at the top. He's certainly one of them, and it's not just for his footballing ability; it's for the fact that he's an absolute superstar, global superstar. Even now, he's still a superstar, and he's been retired however many years. And it's the fact that he had the character and the strength to be able to manage that and still perform on the pitch.
Yeah.
For me, 98 to 2003, 2004, probably one of the best players in the world every year. He was outstanding. And like you said, Martin, it's he wasn't blessed with natural talent. He's admitted that many a time, but his work rate off the ball was underrated massively. And all of his fellow players talk about it, even the ones at Real Madrid couldn't believe how hard he worked.
Exactly. But you look at that Real Madrid team he went into with the likes of Zidane in it. They had Raúl up front. I think at the time when he first got there, if I'm right, I think Ronaldo was still playing. At Madrid. So they had Figo. So he had Zidane, he had Figo, he had Ronaldo, he had Raúl. I mean, that was the team of the Galacticos, and he went to Madrid, learned the language, put himself in there, and he never looked out of place in that team with all of those players. He never looked like he wasn't part of that team. And
Well,
it's a credit to him. One of the best English footballers you will ever see in a generation, I believe.
You know what? They looked up to him, Martin. They looked up to him. That was the crazy thing about it, is that he went into the Galacticos in 2003, and they were starstruck by him. The Ronaldos, the Roberto Carloses, the Herreros, the all those experienced Real Madrid quality class players looked up to him as he was the global star, and he just made it work. And he's the reason why we've got so many English players going abroad now. Even now, he set that standard. Just a fantastic player. And Gerrard is Gerrard. He's absolute Liverpool legend. Worked his socks off. So dynamic, so dynamic as a midfielder. And for me, he didn't win enough trophies in his career. Steven Gerrard, he didn't win enough trophies. I think he'd have gone to Chelsea when he had the chance. I think he'd have had a shed load of trophies, but he played for his boyhood club and he won the Champions League with them. So I suppose he can't really complain with that.
Yeah, cool. No, lads, I'm going to stop you there because, and I'm only going to take one of these pictures each week, I think, because it will be all day otherwise. I'll come around maybe to at the end. I wanted to have a question. If you had the choice between, you can only put one of the lads in, Beckham or Gerrard, who would it be? Think about that, and we might come back to it at the end of the show. Okay, let's go on to the England squad. And so the England squad was announced, 33, provisional squad of 33. They're going to bring it down to 26 for the tournament. They're going to play, I think, maybe friendly games and a bit of training in between. So it was said to you lads during the week, you have to remove 7 from this. Who you're removing? And you probably looked at removing a keeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 2 strikers. Or maybe you want to do something different. So who are you taking out? The England squad. Dictator are really interested in this because, of course, Scottish lads go up against England later on. The next month or so.
Yeah. Okay. Pickford.
Definitely.
Gone. Mackham. I don't care if he's the best keeper in the world. It's Mackham. Gone. Defensively, you know, Trippier's had a really good season. Luke Shaw's had a good season. I would probably take out Connor Cody. Defensively, midfield, I would take out Declan Rice. He's shite. Up front, I probably wouldn't put in Saka, and I probably wouldn't take Ollie Watkins. And I know that may be tough. If I had to go one more, I would also get rid of probably Ben White as well. Would be my 6 or 7.
Okay. That's you, Martin.
I think it's a pretty tough one, this one, really.
Goalkeeper's easy, Rich.
I'd love Jordan Pickford to be left at home, but we know that's not going to happen. So I think out of the ones that are there, I think Aaron Ramsdale will be left behind there. I'm still surprised he didn't keep a space open for Nick Pope to see whether he could try and recover, because I know he's not going to be first choice, but I was a bit surprised he wasn't even put in the squad to prove his fitness. He could be called up later on or something like that. We don't know.
Where's Chris? Chris is missing. We have a goal. Goal. Sorry, Rich.
It's all right.
Goal.
Chris is not here. Do you know what it is? Only time they score, and Chris isn't even on the screen. He's back.
He's back.
I'm here for the goal. I'm here for the goal. Villarreal, boys. Villarreal.
Famous assist.
Yeah.
Who scored?
Pete beat me to it. I don't know who scored.
Gerard Marino.
Gerard Marino.
Yeah.
That's who. Tell us a bit about him, Chris.
Yeah. Well, what was the goal? What was the build-up, Chris? You're obviously deep in the match there. Okay, so what happened?
Hang on.
Just give us what happened.
Just a sec. I'll tell you.
It was a free kick.
You know he wasn't even watching it. Chris wasn't even watching it. He dicked off because he was eating his tea.
Right, here we go. I'll tell you now. I've rewound it, so it's live to me now. Okay, so there's a free kick on the left.
Chris Hall Kamara reporting. News at 10 in my bedroom.
Free kick on the left after Edison Cavani made a needless tackle, I've got to say. And Pineo, oh, look at this. Pineo's hit it in. And, oh my God, that's bad. It's bad Man United defending, lads. He basically looped it in. Man United had quite a high line. And the player made the right, Moreno made the right one at the right time, unmarked, unchallenged. And then De Gea, I don't know if you saw it as well, Pete. De Gea, like, kind of, he was falling down, then tried to stop it as the ball bounced, and it just went over him. One of the easiest goals you'll see.
Goalkeeping. It was awful defending from Lindelof, but it was awful goalkeeping from De Gea. He has that tendency to really stay on his line. Doesn't come out and command his area as good as he should. But I'll be honest with you, Villarreal deserved it. After the first 2 or 3 minutes when Man U should have scored, Villarreal have dominated the game. They've looked like the better team easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom's right. I don't think I would make a stock up under. I'd probably be good if I focused on one thing, but when I'm focusing on a few things, I must admit, my multitasking's not great.
No,
Well,
you're still better than Paul Merson, though.
Thank you.
Chris, we know you can only focus on one thing. That's why you've been too busy with your Avon off the last few weeks while you've been off on the show.
Hey, tell you what, it's taken 31 minutes to mention Avon. That's good, boys.
And it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't Mark. It's Rich coming at me now.
I'm leaving you alone tonight.
Well, I think we're on to Rich. Had you finished?
No, I didn't. I got.
Carry on.
I interrupted because there was a goal. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I think defensively, there could be possibly 3 of them left back. I think Godfrey and White will be left, and possibly one other, probably Connor Cody. The reason why I'm thinking that is because they've got Saka as a forward, but we also know he can play the full back, so he can cover the full back slot as well.
I think that's more realistic. Yeah.
So I think those are the 3. I think Ollie Watkins will be left behind. I also think Mason Greenwood will be left behind, unfortunately. And I think just because the type of player, there's too many other people like him, I think they might leave Jesse Lingard at home. I know he's been in fantastic form, but if you look at the players attacking-wise, and there's better players than Jesse Lingard. I think. Yeah,
but who would you rather bring on, Lingard or Rice?
Yeah, Rice will he's there as cover for Henderson as well because they're very similar players. But they'll probably play the 2 holding midfielders when we play like better opposition. And then obviously they'll change one of those round. When we play,
they'll take Ward-Prowse for the free kicks.
When we play against Dictators, lads, we'll probably play quite an attacking lineup. Do you know what I mean? Won't be much of a threat defensively. I'm pretty good to get hauled over hot coals.
I'm glad you're saying that
when they come on later, like. Yeah, but that's what I think. That's what I think.
Remind them, Rich.
Well, I've just been saying I can't multitask, boys, but I have multitasked. I've actually listed the 7 players who I would get rid of. So, starting with the goalies, I'd take that Ramsdale out. I think it's
4 goalies gone. Okay, go again.
I think that's exactly. It's shocking that he's even in there. If I'm honest, I'm not a big fan of Pickford, as you all know, but. He deserves to go. He deserves to be on the plane. But I'd take Ramsdale out. He's got to go. In terms of the defenders, I'd probably lose, which may be a bit heavy, but I'd probably lose 3 of them. I think Ben White's incredibly lucky to be in there. I think Tyrone Mings, he's had a good season, don't get me wrong, but I still wouldn't take him. And I'd probably also get rid of Connor Cody. Again, I quite like Connor Cody. But for me, I know someone's just put in the comments there about Godfrey going. But by the way, I'm a massive fan of Ben Godfrey. And not only that, he can actually play anywhere across the back 4. So I'd definitely be taking Ben Godfrey all day long. He would be in my squad. In terms of the midfielders, I take a couple of the lads' points there. Jordan Henderson's got to be on the plane, even though I'm not his biggest fan, but he has done really good things for Liverpool of late. Jude Bellingham's a prospect, he's got to go. Jesse Lingard's been fantastic this season. Mason Mount has to go. Calvin Phillips, I think he's a prospect, and he also offers something a little bit different because he's quite defensive minded. So I'd take Calvin Phillips. Declan Rice, again, I know he's a bit Marmite, but I would take him. I think the Declan Rice and Sean Longstaff argument's gone way out the window now, by the way, hasn't it? So I'd take Declan Rice. But I wouldn't take James Ward-Prowse. I think he's great on free kicks. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not quite sure he's got the engine. So I'd probably let James Ward-Prowse go. And in terms of strikers, I think I'm going to agree with Rich on this. I think I would not take Ollie Watkins, albeit I think he's had a fantastic season and he's definitely one for the future. And I also wouldn't take Mason Greenwood. I think you've got to take Calvert-Lewin, although I'm not his biggest fan. Phil Foden's obviously an absolute must. Jack Grealish is back to fitness and he offers something different. Harry Kane, no question. Rashford, no question. Saka, I think he can offer something. And as Rich said, he can possibly play wing-back as well. I'd take a chance on Sancho and Sterling. I admit they haven't had great seasons this season, but I would take a chance on Sancho and Sterling because they've got that little bit of star quality about them. So the 7 that miss out for me, just to repeat, would be Ramsdale, Cozy, Mings, White, James Ward-Prowse, Watkins and Greenwood.
Cheers, Chris. Pete, your thoughts?
Very quickly, because I agree with a lot of what you guys have said. Ramsdale, for me, needs to get out of that squad. Not good enough. I would have even taken Pickford out if Pope was fit. I wouldn't have had him.
Yeah.
I think it would have been Henderson, Pope, and Johnson for that berth. So Ramsdale out. I would take Connor Cody out, Ben Godfrey out, Ben White. All 3 of them out. Ollie Watkins. I'm surprised he's got in there. Feel sorry for Bamford. I think Bamford should have at least got into the provisional squad ahead of Watkins. Saka, I'm not sure why he's in the squad. Hasn't had a great season, in my opinion. Had a good first half, had an awful second half of the season. He's got talent, but he's nowhere near consistent enough to be in the team. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know what? Might sound controversial, but I don't really rate him as a player. I take Dominic Calvert-Lewin out.
He's not great, Pete. He really isn't.
Agree.
He really isn't.
We literally just put in the chat there about that should actually be Bamford.
Yeah. Bamford's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
For him not to get a call up. Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin was great at the start of the season. He's banging the goals.
He's done nothing second half.
Everyone wanted him in their fantasy football team, but he hasn't done anything for
I've
5 months.
never understood the hype about him. Like, he's a big, cool, physical player, but he lives on very short moments. So, like, he had a prolonged moment at the start of the season, like you mentioned, guys. But other than that, he's not done anything for me.
Calvert-Lewin, Pete, is like Wayne Rooney. They're streak players. So they have streaks where it goes well, they score goals, and then the streak stops.
Yeah,
they're very, very similar.
But and that's where it stops, because someone like a Wayne Rooney would still create and still give something to the team. Yeah,
Calvert-Lewin gives you nothing.
If Calvert-Lewin's not scoring, he gives you nothing. And we saw that as an example when we went to Goodison Park and beat them quite comfortably. He was marked out of the game by a defence that was literally on its knees, and they didn't have to play at 50% to stop him playing. And honestly, I'll be absolutely shocked if Ancelotti doesn't dip his money into the transfer market to get another striker, because he must be able to see that he's not good enough. But typical Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate's got his favourites, and when he's got his favourites, you're not leaving that squad. It's as simple as that. So unfortunately, I think he'll go. And Greenwood.
Do you know what, Pete? I think another name. I know he's obviously just coming back from injury, but who could be in that section with the strikers? And I think it would make it a harder decision if you took out Watkins and Calvert-Lewin and you had Bamford and Ings in there. I think that would be a much harder, decision to choose somebody, because I think Ings is. I know he's obviously had serious injuries in the past, but you can't fault him. He's a goal scorer. He takes his chances. So I don't know. I think, I think he's a better option than Calvert-Lewin and Ollie Watkins, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
I'd rather bring Ings on than bring Calvert-Lewin on if we needed a goal.
I've got an issue with Danny Ings in that
He plays for Southampton.
I just don't think. Yeah, I honestly just don't think. I don't think he's an international player. I just don't think he's. You get these players. We've had so many strikers over the years that have banged goals and goals and goals for fun at Premier League level. But then when you put them in international level, they just don't do the same. And I just get that feeling with Danny Ings. Like when you're in an international tournament, right, and you're looking for a player to come on to change the game. I look at Mason Greenwood, who is not a conventional striker, but I can see that he will have a moment where he can put the ball in the net. He's a sharpshooter. He's a finisher. He can give you something in the game. I look at the likes of Raheem Sterling. I look at the likes of Jadon Sancho, those players that are in that team or in and around that squad, Marcus Rashford, that can come on and really emphasise and change the game against the top international players. Yeah. I don't see that with Danny Ings. I just don't see it at all. I don't rate Calvert-Lewin. I don't see it in Danny Ings. Honestly, it might sound really biased, but the one player that could really cause them problems is someone like a Callum Wilson. I think he's going to say that. Just say that. His explosive pace, right? The fact that he's got a little bit of shithousery about him, and you need a little bit of that in an international tournament to really ruffle some feathers. The fact that he'll work his socks off, and the fact that he can play in and behind, he can hold the ball up, he can do a job. We've seen it with Newcastle, late on when we're trying to hold out for a result, and he does one of them where he holds the ball on the halfway line, wins as a free kick, gets the ball up the pitch. He can give you that. Whereas I don't think a Calvert-Lewin or a Danny Ings can do it. So, yeah.
That does a sentiment. Can I just say, I know Daz does want to go just very, very quickly. Two things. But should your team not be getting picked based on form?
No, thanks, Martin. Thanks for that. I told him we had to move on. He wouldn't listen. Sorry, Martin. Go on.
And if it is form, surely Joe Willock was worth a shout for midfield.
100%.
Absolutely.
Anyway, there you go. Right, go on.
Let's talk about the sponsors as I reshuffle the deck and our schedule to fit in everything again. That was my own fault. I put in too many things there. Okay, Martin, tell us about Mind, Body and Soul.
No, I'll let Chris do it this week.
Chris, tell us about Mind, Body and Soul.
I can't really tell you anything about Mind, Body and Soul. I've heard Martin say it many times, but Martin, you're forgetting. I've only recently had my Twitter ban lifted. I haven't been on Twitter for about 5 days.
Body and Soul. Yeah, you know the gist of it. Mind, Body and Soul. Adam and the guys run a non-profit charity to help out people with mental health issues. Get in touch with the boys. They will direct you to the relevant spots. Also, they've been helping out some people financially as well in these troubled times. Even though we unlock, people are still suffering with lack of jobs and other bits and pieces. It's all Steve Wraith's fault. But Mind, Body and Soul on Tinternet, as they say, mindbodyandsoul.uk. Get online. They've got a whole great range of merchandise. Loads more coming online every single day. Most of the boys on the panel have bought stuff and helped the guys out. Get on there, give them support, and they've been looking after us ever since we kind of kicked off. So thank you for their continued support.
I've got to say, Mart, I'm just going to say this before we move on. You are incredibly good at that.
Oh, what?
Because that isn't a script. You haven't. You just think
I think it's the word you're using for.
No, but he's good at it, isn't he? He's good at it. Yeah, he's good at. I'm good at wing and stuff, but Martin's like on a different level.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, mate.
That's it. I loaded first. A compliment.
If I wasn't wearing glasses, the viewers would be able to see the tears in my eyes.
That's the last thing I'm going to say nice about, Okay.
No, exactly, yeah. That's what it is.
Shout out to Away Day Radio. People listen to us on Saturday from 1 to 3. Shout out to Dino and Gary and everyone, all the other DJs. We're not DJs. On the shows. And our partners in crime.
Folks a wave.
We always give them a little wave.
Hello, if you're listening, we're waving at you. Yeah.
Let's go to about Retro Souls. The shoe people.
Go on then, Chris.
He's just.
He's
I just want to sit back and admire. Go on, Mark.
So, Retro Souls, an independent retailer of Adidas Originals, trainers new and pre-owned. Lee, who operates purely on Twitter at Retro Souls UK. Budgets suit all people and all prices. So if you want a canny pair of trainers, get on there, get sorted out. Any kind of colours, Lee will hook you up. And again, we were talking provisionally there about England. When we get into the Euros, we will be doing some live watch-alongs, and we will have a giveaway from Retro Souls. So keep watching, hit the button, subscribe, and watch the five of us rule the roost over all the other pods during the Euros.
I nearly withdrew my compliment then, Matt. Because I thought you were just going to read that out. And I was going to go, I could have done that.
There's a little bit of that in there as well.
Fluffed it out as you
I
always
told
do.
it, it's like Phoenix from the flames, I tell you.
Okay, I think we'll move on again, lads, and we'll probably just do this section before Dictator come on. But let's talk about who's normally does a bit. This is Chris, I think. Are you ready, Chris?
Yeah.
Now, do you want me to do this bit for you as well? Loaded leaderboard.
I thought Pete took over that from me. Was that last week?
He did.
There you go.
My fault. My fault. Sorry, Pete. Would you like to do? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, let Pete do it. Let Pete do it. Come on, Pete.
I don't mind. Loaded leaderboard.
You're a challenger. Nice one. Okay, so this is the last day. This is the results. The final league table.
I know I lost.
Might as you as.
We'll see.
Come on,
Chris.
Daz. Come on, Daz. Oh,
look at that point. Yeah, mother.
So those people listening on radio that can't see our leaderboard, Richie is on top, in first place on 94 points.
Well done.
Well done, Richie. Martin is in second, and he's crazy selections through the season. But yeah, he's 93 points. I came in third.
Close enough in the last lot of selections, though, was it?
The last round, myself, Chris, and Richie got 6 points. I didn't count up yours, Pete, actually, and you got 4, Martin. So that's
Chelsea. I think I picked one up, but that's good. That was a great challenge, and fair play, Richie. That was top and tail all season. So well played, sir.
Cool.
Yeah,
so I came third on 87 points, and Chris finished fourth on 84 points. But Chris missed about 20 games. So
I was going to say thank you, Daz. Thank you for highlighting that. Thank you.
No, thanks for taking the relegation from me.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
And still makes the odds that you used to be a bookie and should know who's going to win.
Well, I missed 20 games, Matt, as Daz has just said. Next season, mate, I'm back. I am back.
I tell you, and we'll have a full season as well. So there you go.
And we'll have Pete. So there'll be 5 places.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
And can I just say, I think whoever does finish last, we did talk about it earlier this season.
Forfeit.
There has to be a forfeit for whoever finishes last, and we will let the viewers choose what the forfeit is next season. There you go.
The caveat was we let them choose apart from John Justice Allen. We're not letting him choose.
No, definitely not. No way.
Yeah.
No.
Chris, I thought that was quite funny, mine, to be fair. Like, you missed 20 games. You're sounding like Steve Bruce without Callum Wilson at the
There you go.
Get me excuse in. Get it in there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games, isn't it? It's a lot of games.
Keith is looking for a speech, Rich. Have you got a speech prepared?
Go on, Mitch.
I'd just like to thank Nolan that used to sit behind us on every wins in a show. Unfortunately, he died a few months ago, so I'll dedicate this to Nolan. There you go.
Well done to Nolan.
I wish I had a song now to play in the background.
Well, you could play the Nolan sisters.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's go for. Yeah, we don't have Dictator yet, so we'll go for this next section. First of all, I'll say, before I forget it, thanks for watching, everybody. To like and comment, and hit that subscribe button. That helps us greatly. Thank you. So who normally says this bit? I think it's you, Richie.
Loaded fan favorites.
Nice, Richie. Okay, and the results of last week, it was Richie Richy versus Alex from the Pacemakers. And yeah, Richy still at 62.5% of the vote. Alex from the Pacemakers got 37.5% of the vote. So Richy, you go on to the next round. You join Paul Oxley, Jared Clark, Jace Campbell as well in the next round.
Cattle, isn't it?
Class, Dick. Deadly.
How can you see that, Martin? You're obviously logged in as well as the same account as me. You're not meant to be.
Yeah, how is that? I thought I could see all the comments and stuff.
That's fine. That's good that it's actually working because we trialed this before on UFC Matters and it didn't work. So that is good.
Oh yeah, it is letting me post them. Yeah, brilliant.
Cool.
Are you talking about on the the private chat? If you click on comments, it shows you all the comments as well. Or are we talking about?
No, Martin, don't be cheating, or I'll kick you out. Don't go there yet. Okay, let's go to.
That's normally a problem, but anyway,
that's normally a problem. We must fix it.
Yeah, cool. There you go. Great.
Chris or Pete, who would like to go first?
It's up to you, Pete. Your call, mate.
No preference whatsoever. You go first. Go
on then. Go on then. Strongest foot first and all that. Right. Okay. So, boys, I know we're a bit short on time, and also you will notice a lot of these players have already been included in previous teams, and probably don't even need an introduction as to why I've chosen them. So the ones that I'm going to highlight are the ones that we haven't seen much of, or I've got to kind of justify them. Okay. So I think, well, you probably can't see that at the bottom actually, but I've got my Peter Schmeichel shock horror in goal. Which I think I've seen every team pick Peter Schmeichel, so that just shows how much of a fantastic goalkeeper he was. In terms of defence, I know a lot of you, any Newcastle fans out there, will be very unhappy that I've chosen Rio Ferdinand. Not a fan of the man. Yeah, not a fan of the man, but as a footballer, I've got to say, I think him and Terry complement each other very well. Both good on the ball, both aggressive, both leaders, both captains. So I had to pick Ferdinand. It was between Ferdinand and Vidic, but I went for the more cultured Ferdinand. I think Vidic is a fantastic centre-back, don't get me wrong, but I think I've already got that bullishness with Terry, so I went with Ferdinand. In terms of left-back, there was only one pick, Ashley Cole, had to be. I had to put Ashley Cole in my team because I think in his peak, he was regarded as the best left-back in the world, and I can't really see far past that. Anybody who Cristiano Ronaldo said he hated playing against should be in a team, and he didn't like playing against Ashley Cole. Okay, Ivanovic at right-back, again, quickly just going to talk about Ivanovic. I know one of the lads last week had Ivanovic, and I said that I completely agree with that pick. Ivanovic, again, at his peak under Mourinho, at right-back, he was horrible to play against, tall, strong, physical, good at tackling, good at going forward. He has it all. So that's why he's in there. I'm not going to talk about the three midfielders because, again, they kind of speak for themselves. And I'm probably not going to talk about the two wingers either because, for me, a Premier League all-time 11 has to have Cristiano Ronaldo in and it has to have Thierry Henry in. And up top, the big man, the main man. And I can't believe we've had teams with no Shearer in because, for me, Alan Shearer has to be in the Premier League all-time 11. There he is. So that is my team.
Nice one, Chris.
Good team.
Pete, can you take him on and wipe the floor with him here?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I didn't have any confidence there, Pete.
Let's go.
No,
let's see it.
I've got for a different type of team.
Okay.
So there are a few players in there that have not been in a number of other teams, and I'll talk them through. So obviously, Schmeichel goes without saying, best goalkeeper of the Premier League era, without doubt, absolute monster. I've gone for Kyle Walker right back, and I just think the way he plays, I just enjoy the way he plays. He's lightning quick. He's a good defender. He's had the odd mistake here and there, but which defender hasn't? But I just think, his transition from Tottenham into a machine that's Man City and become a crucial player for their team that's winning trophies and potentially winning the Champions League, for me, he's up there. You've got like the Nevilles and Ivanovic and Zabalettas. You've got a few others over the years that have been very, very good. but I just wanted to go for someone a little bit different. So I've gone for Kyle Walker because I think, when his career's all said and done, I think he'll be worthy of competing for that right back spot. At the back, for me, Vincent Kompany is an absolute warrior. He doesn't get talked about enough, and I think it's because the likes of Ferdinand, Vidic, Terry, Adams, Campbell are all very, very good, highly rated centre backs. But for me, Vincent Kompany was the reason why Man City were built into a title winning team. He was an absolute legend there. He did have his injuries, but he was a monster at the back, and he could do everything. He could win the ball up in the air, big, physical in the air, but he could do everything on the ground. He was good on the board. He could bring the ball out from defence. He literally had everything as a centre back, and I just think he's perfect for this lineup, alongside the likes of Rio Ferdinand. And I know people don't like him. I'm not the biggest fan of him outside of playing football, but I think those two as a partnership would have been absolutely ideal. They would have connected so well together. Ashley Cole, I don't even need to explain. Best left back of the era. The only one that comes even slightly close to him is Patrice Evra. But for me, Ashley Cole was, for a longer period of time, the better left back. My icon, Mr. David Beckham, had to be on the right-hand side of that midfield. You need a set-piece taker. You need a specialist in your team, and there's no better than him. And he's in there for a reason that I'll go on for later. The midfield pairing, a nice dynamic midfield. Both of them can defend. Both of them can attack. Both of them love a tackle and love a battle in that midfield. I would love to see a midfield come up against those two and win, because if they do, or I don't think they would, but I tell you what, it'd be one hell of a game. And then you got, for me, arguably the best player of all time. For me, he is the best player of all time. And my other icon, Cristiano Ronaldo. I absolutely worship that guy and everything that he's done. He's had to work for everything. He's not naturally gifted. He's had to work his socks off every day of his footballing career to achieve what he's achieved. And I've got nothing but admiration for him and for what he's done. 36 now? Still tearing it up in Italy. Still carrying a whole team on his back. Even though they've not had the greatest of seasons, he's still got 29 goals this season. Outstanding. And then I tell you what, this forward line has just got goals written all over it. Shearer goes without saying. He's the record goal scorer. He's the best striker to ever play in English football, and no one can tell me anything different. He is the main man. However, the man alongside him wasn't here very long, but for me, I think he is the best finisher that the Premier League has ever seen. Ruud van Nistelrooy, if he'd have stayed for the longevity that the likes of Henry and Shearer have stayed for, he would have been up there in the record states. He would have had 200 plus Premier League goals. I've got no doubt about it. That guy was an absolute machine at Manchester United. And that's after doing his cruciate ligaments as well and being out for a year. And he still came to Man United and completely tore it up. And obviously him and David Beckham had a majestic partnership in which they just literally read each other like a book. The amount of assists Beckham used to get to Van Nistelrooy was just unreal. And I just think those two together would really suit each other. Shearer and Van Nistelrooy both could win in behind, both could hold the ball up in their heyday, but just the amount of goals that they would fight for, whether it was penalties, whether it was balls into the box, you would not want to defend against those two. And like I say, it's someone a little bit different, but still deserves being in that list.
Cheers,
Great
Pete.
teams.
Great selections. Here they are side by side, lads. But here was the fancy stuff. A few circles. Here's the selections that you both picked together. Yeah. And if we look at the ones you didn't pick, so Chris went with Henry, Scholes, Terry, and Ivanovic, and Pete went with Van Nistelrooy, Beckham, Kompany, and Walker. That's the only differences in the two sides. So what'll happen now is that the both teams will go up on our Twitter after the show, and everyone gets to vote on Twitter. You get 1 vote per person, and vote for who you think should go through to the next round. Best of luck,
By the
lads.
way, Pete, just wanted to add, I thought the Van Nistelrooy shot was a fantastic one.
Van
Like,
Nistelrooy is an inspired
Oh,
choice.
mate, he's like, he didn't score a goal outside the box, did he? But he was always there, always.
You know what? He scored one, and it was the
it one?
goal against Fulham where he ran from inside his own box. He dribbled by 3 or 4 players, and then he
Just on the edge.
Slotted in right foot.
It
Just
was
on the edge.
It was on his right foot, 1 touch, and then bang! Like, it was just such a sharp shooting moment.
Yeah, I remember
That was the only goal I think I can remember him scoring from outside the box. But he was an absolute predator. And honestly, if we'd have stayed at Man United any longer, I think he'd have broke records. He was that good.
Lads, it's time to move on, and we are definitely in for a treat tonight.
We are, yeah. I was so looking forward to this band coming
Dictator
on.
are class. Here we go. Are you ready, Martin?
I better get my money off Mick, otherwise it's going to be trouble. I am, yes. Loaded tune.
Beautiful, Martin. So here's Mick, the Dictator, and Joe.
Yeah. We definitely need to get more words. We need to have more letters on the
Welcome, lads.
So normally we get the bands on and I start to go through the spiel and I ask all the questions. But tonight I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to let my good friend Richie do this one because he won the Loaded Leaderboard and I will bow in reference to him tonight. And I really want to focus on listening to the lads talk and listen to the tunes. And as we do get to the tunes and we play hide and seek in a while, it is the best tune I have heard in a long, long time. So I want to listen to the lads talk. So Richie, you take it away, pal. Your gig this time.
No bother. Even Mick, even Joy, all right?
How's it going, mate? You all right? Thanks for having
Aye.
Excellent.
Good. So great to have you on the show. I know we've had Martin booked you a few months ago, but I've spoke to you a little bit in the chat as well. But yes, we're finally glad to have you on the show. So lads, tell us a little bit about Dictator. How did you get started? How long you've been going for, and stuff like that.
So we're a 4-piece, right? We're from West Lothian, right? And West Lothian seems to be like this melting pot like recently. So there's like Lewis Capaldi, you've got the Snuts, who have kind of recently had a #1 album as well, and we've got a kind of few other acts here, but that's kind of where we're all based. We've known each other since school together. Like, in terms of the actual music, if you like Gorillaz, that's one of our main inspirations, and then kind of Kasabian as well, all that sort of stuff. So that we call in quite a bit. Primal Scream's another one as well. So that in terms of the actual band though, quite a scary stat. So we've been going since November 2019, right? So we've actually been a band in lockdown longer than we haven't, which is horrible. So we've only done like 2 or 3 shows, right? Which is mad. So that's why kind of like, obviously we have to just keep releasing songs. We've got things, we're going into the studio, we're still writing and releasing, but it's going to be mental. Our next show is just going to be like, hopefully there'll be more people there. Like, we'll see what happens. Depends how much he's like the tunes.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, go on, Rich, sorry. I tell you how I got to know about you. Somebody sent me a link to one of your songs you'd done in Sofa in Edinburgh, which was Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
And I had put a shout out about bands and everything else, and we had PG Charletta on, and I put a tweet up about top Scottish bands, and you know the music scene in Scotland is ripping at the minute. And somebody sent me a link to the YouTube video of Mirror Mirror, and I listened to it and I thought, yeah, I've got to get these lads on. There's something about these guys. And then obviously I picked up on all the other bits. So that was how I first picked up on you. Somebody actually sent me your video. So there you go.
See that gig, by the way? That was the weirdest thing, right? It was in the like foyer of Leith Theatre.
Yeah, you were sitting on the steps and stuff.
Yeah. So like they don't tell you, and we just jumped in, and it was filled with Edinburgh uni students. Who, if you've ever been up to Edinburgh, the uni students are they get called Yaz, right? So like that's what they get called. But essentially, just silence. I'm sitting there and it was getting videoed, and obviously the pressure's on. You've got to do a perfect take. and they were just like at the
Just
end of each
folk
song, they
sitting.
didn't know whether to clap. They were just like, it's
I was sitting
Yes.
like on the floor.
Impress me, please.
But honestly, but all the response has been after that. See, when it got videoed and folk, everybody was like, "Oh, like that's cool," and I was like, "I wish you'd been there," because if you'd actually just like clapped us or smiled or nodded, we would have loved it.
Yeah, because I got sent the link and I put it on, and I was like, okay, hang on a minute now. Is somebody taking the piss out of me here? Because it's just like 4 lads sitting with an organ and something else on a set of steps. And then I listened to it, and then kind of somebody else pointed me, and I picked up the other stuff through Spotify and that, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, there's something here. And then you release the last couple of songs, and then obviously the last one, Hide and Seek, which I think when people hear it tonight, I think, to be fair, I think it's going to absolutely blow up for you lads. I think I can't wait for people to hear it. I really can't.
It's mad, Martin, because like I've got 5 tunes in the system here, and I find it hard to pick my favorite, because I played about Moonlight there. I tweeted about it there during the week. I played it about 15 times there one day. I was like, I love this tune, and but then I listened to a few more of them. I equally like these other ones. Like this, there's something about them. It's just the sound or something that just kind of mesmerizes you in some way.
Guys, I'm not being funny, but the Void are going to start getting a bit concerned.
They're going to get jealous.
I have been saying for a long time that, you know, they are from Sunderland, so I have got divided loyalties. Whereas at least, you know, from an Irish perspective, these lads are coming on tonight, and they're all Celtic fans. So, you know, I know that some people go, oh well, Rangers won the league, but it doesn't matter. You know, this side of the border in our country. It is very much green and white. So there you go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We have plenty to talk about, lads. We're going to talk about a bit about Eddie Howe maybe coming in as well. Look at we won't go there yet. Do you want to keep going with the question, or will we get a tune out?
Let's get a tune on. I kind of think we need to get a tune on. Yeah, come on, let's get something on.
So now we've got to decide which one. Oh,
I think we've hyped up Hide and Seek, haven't we? We've hyped it up, so we've got to play it first. That's the current single as well. So
yeah, all right, let's go for it. I would have put it in the middle. I would have built up to. I would have built up to it a bit.
Yeah, Mark wanted to save it.
We'll just play it at the end again, Martin.
I'm playing Moonlight.
Okay, there you go. Daz is in control. Daz is in.
I danced with the moon last night under the haze of his light, intoxicated, done as lovers do. We dreamed of love, and I dreamed of you. I'll be the stars, you'll be the moon. Lost in the haze of light, but we know that we'll be alright. We found the stars on our way to the end. We found our own ways and everything again. We found our own ways and everything again. Let me fall in love with you. Let's go too good to be true. special ticket to be true. I'll be the stars, you'll be the moon.
Boys, that's the first time I've heard that, but the vocals on that was ridiculous.
Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
Like -10.
Yeah.
I
I tell you,
that makes me feel so cold. Honestly, it was horrible. Sitting for 4 hours, just like shivering.
I tell you what though, we do also have to give the two lads 10 out of 10 because they were like the quickest stage change into football I've ever fucking seen.
Ready?
Hey,
I'm fucking gone.
that music even stunned this guy.
1 in 9 trophies, my man. What's successful manager ever?
Oh, do we want to talk more music talk, or do we want to talk football talk? What do you think, Rich?
I'll talk about music, yeah.
Yeah, go on. Let's keep going on music for now.
Absolutely.
So obviously you touched on who your inspirations were. Was there any other, like, I think Julie mentioned in the chat there, who else was your idols apart from like Kasabian and Primal Scream?
To be fair, mate, it's mental. I'll let Joe answer his idols, then I'll do mine. But we've all got different kind of genres.
Yeah.
I would say my number one idol, the Kinks, Ray Davies, Jack White, the White Stripes, and just loads of different things. The Wolf Tones.
Oh, there you go.
The
The lads across the way there wouldn't know them now. So
no,
that's a different show altogether, Joe.
I'm kidding on.
Nah, but to be fair, like, because you got that, and then like from my perspective, like everyone that we do in the band, like I love Gorillaz. Gorillaz are one of my main kind of inspirations. And we've got other kind of various inspirations, but I normally get them wrong, right? So I've just taken to just naming bands that the other two love, even though they don't. Alan's a big Coldplay fan, right? He's the drummer. I got quoted as saying that Zach, the guitarist, was a Van Halen fan, and he just gets raging whenever I say this. So I'm just gonna they're not on the podcast. They can't say it.
They can't deny it.
1-1 United.
1-1. Oh, is it? There you go. See, okay, so let's just stop there, right? So first of all, we invite bands on, right? Chris has been off for a while, and now Mick has literally just caught Chris out, who's meant to be watching the goals, and called out the score while Chris is sat there. Chris Kamara strikes again, yet again.
If you look at the chat, Pete beat me to it, but it was there. I knew. Do you know what?
Right.
I actually
in the chat. So hang on. Let's not deflect
that's
the
right,
situation.
let's see it. Okay. Go on.
So that's not only Pete has beat you in the chat, but Mick has also beat you in the live score as well.
Cavani scored. Very good.
Cavani scored. It was a scrappy goal, but you know what was lovely to see? All the fans go mental when they equalised, and you miss that, don't you? Because that used to be the norm, didn't it? But nowadays you don't get to see fans celebrating. So really enjoyed seeing that. Although there is a goal check underway, by the way, boys, just to keep it all up.
It's a goal.
It's a goal. It's fine. It's fine.
Game on.
The Van Halen fan is on comments tonight.
Al Matador.
Now go on, Rich.
So lads, obviously that you've told us how that they're your inspirations, but how would you describe your own music? If you were to put it like in a few words and put it on your Twitter bio, how would you describe your music?
Oh, see, that's a few words, man. So actually, this is so easy because it is actually defined on Spotify as alternative rock. They are. So we can that's the easy cop out. For that, mate, I just kind of, it's difficult to say because like you had Moonlight there, but then we've got other ones that are kind of like really kind of more Kasabian than they are others. Yeah. So it's just a kind of a melting pot. We'll go for that. A melting pot.
It's good. I think it's good though because it shows versatility, doesn't it? You know, you're not just streamlining it to one sort of thing. So you'll appeal to different people, because of different sounds and stuff like that. So So, one question that Martin always asks is that the lockdown's pretty much been a leveler for a lot of bands because obviously no one's been out there gigging and getting ahead of each other. So obviously you mentioned you formed 6 months before lockdown started. You've been putting a lot more music out there to obviously get Dictator out there. I think you've got about half a dozen songs there that you've released since you've been formed over the lockdown stuff. So that's a really good return. So now that the gigs are starting to, the doors are starting to open for gigs and stuff, have you got anything lined up for this year so far?
So we've not booked anything formally yet, right? And it's just because, like, see now the venues are like taking bookings. They're just like fully booked with all the backlogged shows. So like everybody just kept basically saying, no, we'll do it again in 6 months, do it again in 6 months. So like right now it's like December. That's genuinely when you're looking at having a show, even if they open it up and social distancing is able to have gigs and stuff like that. So for us, genuinely, we'll have a gig in by December, but we've got a real kind of like, a lot of folk are struggling now. It's been a pretty crappy year, right? And for us, you get tickets in for shows, but it's like an income stream, right? We can go and do stuff with that money as soon as you get the ticket money, the venue hire and stuff like that comes off of it. But it's really kind of hard to ask people to dig into their pockets when you don't 100% know that, you're actually going to have the show. So we know we're aiming for December, right? But by the time that we book a show, it'll 120% be happening. And then we'll kind of sell tickets, and we're not going to ask people to come along to a different day or The ticket is the ticket, and that will be it. So hopefully, anyway, we'll see how this year progresses. But look, everything's kind of up in the air at all times now. So
yeah,
fair enough. Yeah.
Two last music questions for myself before we play the track for you. The first one, and me and Martin ask this to every single band that comes on, and 99% of the time we know the answer to this question. It always shocks us because some of the talent that are out there is just phenomenal. And to find out the answer to this question shocks us every single time. But are you guys signed or unsigned?
Unsigned.
Jesus.
See, I just...
It blows your mind, doesn't it? It blows your mind.
It's crazy.
We've done a few shows now, and very similar. We kind of, and I if you've watched these shows, I say most of the week, we kind of started off as, 2 or 3 of us, kind of middle-aged fellas, off the back of a Newcastle United.
Hold on a second.
Well, I was talking. Sorry, Pete is new, and I was talking, Chris, about lads who've committed to the show. Do you know what I mean?
You bloody turned that round, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing, Chris and Pete, you had Ferdinand in your team, so off you go. Not having Ferdinand in your team, not standing for that. Real Ferdinand,
bye.
It's mental.
But we've had some bands on, and we kind of started this up, and me and Daz kind of kicked it off, and we had this vision of doing like a soccer AM kind of thing on YouTube, which was having a bit of crack, having a beer, shooting the breeze, chatting football, but having some really good music on. And we've, it's kind of taken off for us as well, to the point we've got bands booked up until the end of August wanting to come on the show, which is great for us because, along with the partnership with kind of Away Day Radio, we've really been able to start showcasing unsigned bands who are out there who just, they need a fucking shot. Like, they need people to listen to this music because people have not been able to get out to gigs. So, we would say to you the same as we've said to a load of the other bands that have been on, we'll keep showcasing you. I think your tunes are amazing. Again, when people hear Hide and Seek, I think people will be blown away. So we will keep showcasing you. And again, if you are watching, or somebody watching this, or somebody who knows somebody or whatever in the music trade, get this pod out, get onto Dictator and get somebody to listen to their tunes, because these lads need a deal, man. It's absolutely ridiculous that this band is not signed up.
At the moment, we're kind of in talks with someone. Nothing major, no Sony or Universal.
I only take 10%, Joe, so that's fine.
It's on the call. Thank you so much. But to be fair, see, the more you learn about getting signed, by the way, right? If anybody, see, the more you kind of we've got a lot of friends and a lot of bands who are signed, right? And it's kind of by proxy, you just learn about how it works. And see, when you're young and in school, you think, class, that's us signed, we're done. Like literally, see if you heard your song on the radio, you're like, boom, I'm done. I'm leaving my job. I've made it. I'm a professional musician, right? Whereas, see now, they basically give you like a bank loan, right? Like as you get older, you go, hold on, this is actually a bit of a bum deal. They give you a bank loan and basically prevent you from making any other music again in your life unless this works. And you have to turn that bank loaned amount into more money. You have to turn that in, and they don't often give you like the supplies to go and do that. It's not like they go and give you a big management team or whatever. They just give you the money, front it up and say, good luck, boys. And so you can imagine what happens there when it's like kind of, 18, 19-year-olds getting a big sum of cash going, yes, we've made it. And it doesn't always translate. And so actually it's not that, like, I know it sounds like class to be signed, but it's not always that beneficial.
It's not always a good deal, yeah.
We've started changing what we're looking to do. Like, we're learning loads, man. Like we're the team behind the band. It's not like we've got like people working for us. You know what I mean? We're learning how to release, how to go and raise press kits and how to send things to people and stuff. And that's, if you don't enjoy that part, that's unfortunately music. Like, and that's music now, as well as the playing.
Aye.
Yeah.
I think the one good thing about social media now is, you can get your music out there nowadays. Like, 10, 15 years ago, and, in the 90s when me, Martin, grew up listening to like all the Oasis and all the indie stuff and Britpop, that sort of stuff where, unless it was signed and put on the radio, you didn't hear it. With social media now, and especially with like shows like this and the Way Day Radio and other like individuals and radio stations, the amount of fantastic music that me and Martin are discovering, obviously when we're booking bands every week, it's unbelievable. Before we started this show, we were stuck in our ways listening to music we grew up when we were kids. And it was fantastic music, but that's not the be all and end all. And we found so many good bands and artists. As I said, we're booked up until August, and we've got people messaging us and wanting to commit longer. But some of the music that we've got, like your tracks that we'll play tonight, some of that we've actually got a loaded playlist on Spotify as well. So everybody that appears on the show goes on to this loaded Spotify playlist as well. So everybody that's been on the show, all the music is there in one place. So you guys' songs will go on there at the end of the show as well. So that's getting your music out there as well. But the other thing that Martin loves to ask, and it kicked off about a couple of months ago when we linked with their Away Day Radio, and there was talk of a charity festival, possibly sometime next year. Now, if we could get that going, would Dictator play for us now loaded festival next year, charity gig?
Absolutely not. No, of course.
They are celebrating and everything. Then.
Yeah, I was going to say that's class.
So, Joe, we'll ask the question again, Joe. Richie, go for it again.
Me, I'll be there. Right?
Oh, Joe, yeah.
Joe,
the talent. Nice one, Joe. Okay, Mike, we bring you back on.
Do you know the funny thing? I only said that as a joke on one of the shows, and I said we should have load stock, and my Twitter blew up, and now I've got people looking for venues. I've got people giving me dates. I've got bands have committed to playing, even though we haven't got a date. It's fucking stupid. But anyway, look, if we can do it, let's do it. I'm all for it. The other thing I always ask before, and I think we will let's get hide and seek on next, Daz, right? Because I'm looking forward to hearing it. The other thing I would say, obviously, you lads being big Celtic fans as well, when things do open up, and in particular, we get opened up here in Ireland, will you lads please sort something out when you do book gigs, and will you do something in Ireland, please, over in Dublin or somewhere that we can come and see you, and me and Daz will get to the gig, and then we'll have a bit of a rip roar afterwards and head out on the drink. And
play a gig, mate. Me and Joe get the boat over and have a pint.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll work the same, mate. That'll work the same. Absolutely. Right, Daz, come on, let's get it on. Let's get hide and seek. Let's get a bit of hide and seek.
Dedicated to Martin.
Thanks, mate. Love this tune. Love it.
There together, we felt like forever, don't you cry. It'll be alright. Just follow the music, let it lead you straight to my arms, to my heart. No more happily ever after. We wrote our names down different paths. Come on, you know, will you follow some music and it led you away from my arms? Why weren't you there from the start? Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Well, tell me how that's fair. Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Now listen when I say to you, this ain't hide and seek. You say you love me once, now emotionally. This ain't hide and seek. This ain't some game that we can be. Stood there forever laughing and smiling. I looked into your eyes and I lost my mind, but it was worth it, and I would do it again just to touch you and breathe in your skin. But you go to let me in. Can you be lonely and in love? Never meant to leave you hung up, but you let me slide, never let me inside. Oh, I'm still with you. We were reckless and in love, but we grew up so out of touch. No matter what there's been, all the days in between, I still love you. But where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Well, tell me how that's fair. Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you weren't by my side. Now listen when I say to you, this ain't hide and seek. You say you love me once, now emotionally. This ain't hide and seek. This ain't some game that we can be. Oh, oh, ooh, oh.
Fantastic, boys. Fantastic.
It was about 20 minutes.
Standing ovation from Richie.
Great
Well
job.
done, lads.
Yeah, I've probably lost count the amount of times I've actually listened to that song since I first heard it, and I would say I probably play it 2-3 times a day at the minute. I have it on the car going to work. I had it on today while I was working from the desk at home. Listen to it again now, and probably will listen to it when I get into bed with the music and the earphones in later on.
Can Joe hear? Sorry. Can you hear it, Joe?
Yeah.
Looks like Joe's having audio issues.
Is he? Okay. My mic's working, right? Yeah, I can see my green light.
Yeah, no, we can hear you.
Yours is working fine, mate.
Is it? Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. Yeah, that for me is just an absolutely amazing song. Can I just ask you, Mick, vocally, how do you get to that? Is there something is there a story behind that song? Because it sounds at points it's quite painful. Is there? And obviously I don't want to pry if there is something that's quite personal to the band. But you're obviously smiling now, so I know I got off with that question. Okay, so that's fine. Can't fuck with that. And do you know what it is? As soon as I said that in my brain, I went, "Oh, that was probably a shit question."
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now,
Joe. Yeah.
I can't hear nothing.
Yes, Joe, we can hear you.
Yeah. So what was the story behind that song, Mick, when it was written and vocally? I'm just really, really intrigued, if I'm honest.
So, by the way, Joe can't hear us.
Yeah.
He's just signed off.
He said 2 minutes, yeah.
All good. No, so the thing is, so I've actually, it's not about, one thing in particular, right? When I actually wrote the song, I was in Spain, of all places. My mum and dad, they were kind of retiring out there before pandemic, but so it wasn't getting used, and I was in between jobs, and I was like, I'm just going to nip out there. So it was almost like, it wasn't that I was lonely, right? But it was just really odd to be somewhere like that by myself. I've never really done that, and it was really weird. So that's the kind of headspace I was in, right? It wasn't like I'd fallen out or lost it. It just was the culmination of almost channeling that, imagining. I've actually been with my fiance for 10 years, right? And so it's nothing about her or anything, but it's almost just a thought illusion that, and kind of appreciating what it is. But the weird thing is, we've got Moonlight, which is the polar opposite of this song. If we had obviously not been in lockdown, we would have liked to have released that as a double A side, because they're actually written to be the polar opposite songs.
Yeah.
Right? So if you listen to them in that context, that's why. And so that one is almost like your heartbreaking ballad. And it was like that. And it is just kind of channeling that. And vocally, it's really hard to try and make a song that you can sing well, that suits you, right? Because you don't know how to do that. And for that one, it would just kind of seem to naturally come. And I was like, the majority of that song is centered around the vocals. I mean, even we've got a stripped back version, I think you had said, but we've not got an extra half an hour to listen to it, right? But genuinely, I remember, it was one of the strangest things, though, right? Is that you obviously the songs that you do, but we were in this old abandoned, it was called the Biscuit Factory in Edinburgh. It's really cool, but the echo in this place is phenomenal. And so you're sitting there, and it was amazing to actually just have someone's doors gone, by the way.
That's my door. Sorry.
Is it?
Talking about kill the ambience.
We were in this mad, and it was at the Echo, and that was actually one of the best. That's one that sticks with me actually performing it, and it was just to the videographer. It wasn't to anybody else, right?
Yeah.
Being in that kind of moment, and it was surreal. It was cool. I really do enjoy singing it. I can enjoy, because you do get into it. You know what I mean? It's like an eye closing, you know what I mean? You just You have to,
well, that's what I did there. I could see people saying, "Are you okay, mate?" But it is literally, yeah, it's okay. I'm not crying, not yet. But it is, it is one of. I can imagine that being played in a massive venue, just kind of lights down, camera phones on, and just I can just imagine the vocals being top notch and not a sound. No,
Chris at the door.
Telling me to ditch the rest of them. Is this like a Simon Cowell thing where you're like, look, we're not taking A3, but you can come in and do it.
I have the busiest hallway ever. I keep saying to people, I'm under the stairs in my house. It's like Heathrow. Just people keep coming back and forth. But yeah, no, that song's amazing. But
I think with that song, it's one of those ones where it's probably be better in like a theatre. You know, obviously the way that they have the acoustic and stuff like that. I think you would just get an absolute fantastic feedback and the echo around it. And it was, you know, I think the way you described the song, you know, it related to me and obviously I know Martin as well. We had big mental health problems, and I remember when it was released about a month ago, and I listened to it. It just as I said in the chat, it just drew me in, and I just stopped doing everything I was doing, and I just had to listen to the song, and it made us, it calmed us down, and I just, you know, I felt so much better after listening to it as well. And just with what you were saying about when you performed in Edinburgh, and what you said about how it was for you personally, because, you know, like how certain performances stand out. You know, I'm a big fan of Queen, and I'm going to see them in Glasgow next year. And I remember when they performed Who Wants to Live Forever, and it was the night after the Miami shootings of I don't know if you remember that a few years ago, when someone walked into the gay nightclub and do you remember? Yeah. And Adam Lambert,
or somewhere that was.
Yeah. And Adam Lambert sang it the following night. I think it was the Isle of Wight or something, Isle of Wight Festival. And Brian May turned around and said he'd never ever heard that song sang with so emotional, so mean, and then even the crowd, you know, just the way that they took it as well. And it related to what Mick just said there about how that song came across to him. And how he remembers it as well, and I can understand why. It's just that type of song that there's going to be somewhere you're probably going to have it in even more memorable places as you go, you know, as your career goes on as well. But you'll probably always remember that as the first time that it struck you, that you went, you know, I'll always love that performance, and for that reason, if that makes sense.
See, to be fair, you saying that, right? I can't describe what it's like because it's an extremely intimate and personal song, right? And it is, and it's like you worry when you release this stuff, right? But even just what you've just said there, to hear that is like amazing. Like it blows me away every time, no matter when anybody says like see stuff like that. I still like, you don't know how to react to it. Like you're like, that is phenomenal. Like I'm so glad you even like the song, but to make it feel you like that, to feel like that, it's like that's amazing. It's almost like a connection. It's so strange to just like, you know what I mean? Like I was there, writing the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, I think that does though, Mick. You know, Joe. I think that's the thing. You know, you can listen to, like we've listened to so much music over the last kind of 3-4 months, but there are sometimes you just hear a song that resonates and you go, do you know what? I can relate to it. You know, Rich is, you know, we've done shows on mental health and stuff like that. You know, Rich has had some problems. I've had, you know, my mum has had problems. Stuff like that, and I've kind of got more into the music as has been kind of my soother as such, has kind of taken me away from certain situations and helped me, as Richie said, calm down or take me to maybe if I was a bit anxious about stuff or whatever else. And I think that song for me there's a lot lyrically in it that kind of has defined what my back end of last year was for me with family, and that's why it sticks to me. So. I mean, look, you guys are producing some absolutely epic tunes, and I know Daz is scratching his head because he wants to move on.
I'm trying to balance everything here. I'm trying to get 3 songs in, a quiz, and football chat. And you know what?
So yeah, we will. But it's a great song, lads. So thanks very much for putting it out there.
I think we'll get 2 tunes in on radio before our time cuts.
Daz, why don't as long as it's all right with Mick and Joe, if we want, we'll leave the quiz and stuff till after the listeners have gone, and we'll get all the music and stuff on. And as long as they know, like Mick and Joe are happy to stay 10-15 minutes after 10 o'clock, then we'll just do all that after, and obviously get their music out there. You know, that's what they're here for. And Away Day Radio, the listeners want to hear this music, so you know, get as much of the music on the next 20 minutes, lads.
Perfect. I'm going to go for something a bit different now. Anthem for a Doomed Youth. Here we go.
Shadows and cover the truth, don't care about what doesn't matter to you. Vindication for your regression, perplexed is with you. tainted facts don't call us out, cause we've covered our tracks and it doesn't fit the manifesto. So sorry son, you're gonna have to go. Write an anthem for the doom just cause you've known to love, and we don't love you. Don't trust the lies that have stuck like glue, no matter what you put us through. We won't go. We've grown older, we've grown colder. Never knew no right from wrong. Got the whole world on our shoulders, but we're still standing strong. Never known you know how to love, never grown to love you, no matter how many courses there's been. We're all here in shock, young, not left the lives you can't decide on. Time don't wait when a march is on. You're supposed to leave the thanks to your greed. When will it end? Will you tell me? I'll be alright. One of the lucky ones this time. But don't be surprised when we rise and we hold you to these words you lied. Don't try to hide behind the lies. Truth never dies. We've grown older, we've grown colder. Never knew no right from wrong. Got the whole world on our shoulders, but we're still standing strong.
Nice one, lads.
Superb, boys. Totally different to the other two,
Yeah,
that wasn't it? But I enjoyed
Absolutely.
it. I enjoyed it.
Totally different. Martin, important question. How is the Chinese?
Yeah, kids are stuff, and I have. I was given a chicken ball, so yeah. Although it's
I saw you eating.
fucking roasting.
I think that song shows your versatility there, Mick, of what we were talking about a bit earlier on.
Right. That was one of the ones. That was one of the first ones we done, and like that was obviously the first song we released in November 2019. But it's hard. Like, see if you speak to any band, they're like, we don't want to be defined by a genre and stuff like that. Like, everybody says that, right? But genuinely for us, it's like, well, cool. Like that was just like a kind of weird synthy sound. And we're like, cool. And for then on in, it seems to have grown arms and legs. That's done really well. People still listen to that like for the first time. Like, oh, that's class. Like Robert Carlyle tweeted it last. Like, mate, that's like my defining moment. Dictator. Robert Carlyle tweeting us saying, "Boys, this is brilliant." And it was like brand new music, and I was like, "Well, we released it like a year and a half ago." I was like, "But I'll not tell him that. I'll just kind of do it."
Take the compliment, mate. Take the compliment.
So I said, mate,
absolutely.
But no, it's good, and we really enjoy playing that and stuff like that. And that was the first kind of venture into trying to sound a wee bit like we're still trying to sound exactly how we want to sound like, and we've got songs yet to release that are how we want to sound like, and that's the kind of first step. Moonlight, Hide and Seek, the rest of them, they're all just kind of stepping stones along the way, and hopefully if we can build up to a decent release like an EP or a couple of other singles, you know.
You've got better stuff to come. Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
So Daz, should we open it up to the other guys in the of the team, and also to chat if anyone else asks the lads thing before we get on to something later on?
Pete had a question, didn't you, mate?
Yeah. I'm kind of just rewinding a little bit now, but obviously for those that are interested in signing you, I think it's always good to know a little bit about you. So how did you guys manage to come together? How did you guys form?
I'll let Joe take this one. If he can hear,
Well,
can you hear us?
I can hear. I'm back in the game, anyway. I'm back here. Well, me and Michael have known each other since primary 1. I think the musical journey started in primary 5, primary 6, round about that time when we started learning guitar. Started playing in a proper band, but 3rd, 4th year at school, and then it wasn't till after going through the sort of like we played in bands. Well, we played in a band together, and this was back sort of 2008 to 2014, I would say. Just sort of learning the way about it, and then after that, kind of quieting down. You kind of by then you're better musicians, and at this point, it was kind of like it was 2 boys we knew from another band. I mean, I can't really say nothing. I wasn't one of the main factors in bringing this together, but so it just got at the end of 2019, 2 boys we knew from another band. We just started jamming, all sort of like similar influences, and just kind of wanted to try something a bit different. And then, here we are now.
I'll tell you what's scary, boys. Like, and the biggest thing for me that I've been thinking about, you know, since I've obviously been listening to you all, is like how new you are. Like 2019, and you're coming up with content like that. And there's bands who've been together for years and years and years and years and have never hit levels like that. So, like, you know, when you say that more's to come and there's better stuff to come, it must, well, we're excited by it, but you must be even more excited, because the longer that you're together and the more that you see each other once all the lockdown restrictions, you know, are lifted, that's only going to make things better, isn't it? And, you know, being able to like be with each other and be able to write stuff and talk about stuff, it's going to improve things, isn't it?
I would say, like, don't get me wrong, we've put the work in like years before. We've played gigs everywhere and we've done all of that stuff before. This thing was just a totally fresh idea, and we kind of know, but no one really knows, you know what I mean? If it was that easy, then everyone would be doing it, but we're kind of at a place now.
Sorry, Joe.
No, we're at a place now where we know kind of what we want, and it's I don't know how to describe it, but
see, when we sat down for the first time, right? So we've been in various bands, right? We've played together and done some stuff, right? But it's just always been like every now and then, right? When we sat down and had a few jams, we basically said, it's almost like, is everybody in to this? Like, are we all in? And if we're all in, we treat it like professionals. We don't treat it like it's a hobby. Right, and that had to be kind of rolled out to everyone. We had to go and get interested in social media. We had to go and learn how it works. We had to go and figure out how you market yourself. How do you do releases? That's not exciting stuff, but all of us are on board with it, and we all kind of share the load. We've got Zach, who one day wants to start his own label, right? But he's like the de facto manager of the band, and he's phenomenal at it. But he gets a buzz from doing it. He enjoys it now. And that's really hard to instill in people. But listen, I remember when we were like, oh my God, like, do we have to post on Instagram once a week? Or I have no idea. Whether it's now, we're just so naturally like, right, boys, we've got like a mailing list we do every week. It's like, you can sign up to it and all that. And it's just, everybody kind of, it's your turn. Can we do this? Oh, that'd be good content. Why don't we chuck that out? And we're not relying on teams of people telling us. So see, by the time we get to, if we get to that point, right, and we have a social media team, or we know what we're looking for. We're not just saying hope for the best. We're like, no, we want someone who can do this. We want someone who can do that. But honestly, when it opens up again and we can start playing, I cannot wait, because we've got so many places that we've built up digitally. Like even with you guys, right? If we were to come over to like Ireland, it's like, that's quality. That we might have a couple of tickets there, a couple of people on the guest list that we didn't have before this. And it's so like, it's amazing to see Glasgow, Manchester, even Brighton. It's loads of random places, and you're like, you know, it's opened us up quite a bit, and we're kind of glad. You know what I mean? It's really weird.
On a personal level as well, where it's not just a team doing it for you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's us speaking to people, and it's us getting to know everybody as well, and it makes it a wee bit more special.
Yeah. Well, look, anything from the show's perspective, from Twitter or anything that we've got on Loaded HQ or anything else, anything you lads want us to help with getting it out there, just shout out, because we're more than willing to help you guys along the way and hopefully see you succeed. So yeah, we're all in to help out where we can.
Yeah, I just want to say, great answer, Mick. It hit home there. It sounded like our own little venture here with the Loaded HQ, and we're going to get serious. We're going to have a little planning session actually this week. We haven't had one for months, so we might have to stream that. Should be good quality content in that one. Lads, I think it's time for another tune. We've got 10 minutes left of the radio. I want to get 2 tunes out, so I'm going to go with Days Gone By. Here we go.
Another short one.
Nice one, lads.
Another belt, boys. Another
Another
belt.
belt.
We're going to go straight into another one, lads, because we're going to say goodbye to the listeners on the Radio Radio who are listening from 1 to 3 on Saturday. So we're going to wave. Yes, Pete's ahead of the game. We always wave to the people on the radio. Everybody's waving. It's catching on. It's catching on. And people.
I wish I'd never started that, to be fair.
I'm so glad you did, Martin. I'm so
Fantastic,
glad you did.
mate. Fantastic.
People that are in the chat, we're not going away. We're going to be back after this last tune, and we're going to go for the quiz and talk a bit of football as well, if the lads can hang around. And you guys, you might recognize some of the places in this video. This is Taped Up.
Love and want you to know I love you more than you know my love is true. You know my body's on the line. Let's not complicate the scene. Providing you a definition to make my own twisted dreams come true. My love is higher than she'll ever know. I love her to escape. And bones are throwing sticks and stones just to let you validate your message to me. To me. Oh, you know my beat is concrete. Just breathe, stay on my feet. You know my beat is concrete. Just breathe, stay on your feet.
Boys, I love that mask. That mask is funny. Spinning it like that.
The dictator. Nice one.
Some debate at the end of that video, like see the with the lampshade on my head and that. That was a good
How
game,
can
but
we end this video? Get the lampshade.
that was not intended for video. I was just listening.
So lads, how come Newcastle got featured in the video then?
It was the last gig before lockdown. So that was like a mental weekend. See if looking back, you'd known you were about to jump for 12 months. You would have done that. You would have went and done that. Because it was basically like, on the Friday night, Saturday night, we were playing with our friends called Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves down in Newcastle at Head of Steam.
Yes.
And so we're playing at Head of Steam. And so like that video was just, we travelled down on a Saturday during the day, got down there, it's supposed to be like a big piss up after it, everybody was going to go out for pints and everything. And they got asked by Lewis Capaldi if they would jump on the support slot with him up in Aberdeen on his last day of his tour. So we were like, right, okay, we'll no bother having a big piss up then, we'll just come down and kind of stay relatively sober. While we're down there, they're like, do you boys want to jump on with us? Like, not to play, but we've got like guest lists to the after party and we'll get you into the show and do whatever. So we're down in Newcastle, all working on the Monday, going, do we go up to Aberdeen on the Sunday from Newcastle and just kind of see what happens? And we did. We went, like, honestly, so we went from there up to Aberdeen to PG Malloy's, I think it is. I can't remember the actual, whatever it is, the big, what's it called? Whatever the big venue is. The biggest arena.
CC or something.
It's got a weird name owned by somebody. Anyway, we went there and like we went and seen the gig and then went to the after party and it was free booze, boys. Disaster.
Result.
I had a meeting at like 9:30. I'm sitting. I got in at 9:20, and I'm just like, honestly, I was just like, oh my god, what's going on? Who am I?
Joe had his lampshade on his head.
Exactly.
I was off on the Monday. I had the day off.
Strategic. He had a plan.
We were juggling and stuff. That's us.
Joe just spent the day on the train. Tickets, please. Wandering around the train while everyone else is sobering up.
Newcastle was meant to be the day out. I was meant to have my night out in Newcastle, properly go for it, and have the sort of recovery Monday as just a sort of just in case type thing. But Sunday came along and then I was like, free drink.
You're good to turn down.
Nick, I was going to follow up with what you said in the chat about it's obviously a lot of similarities to Scotland. What was it you said about where the students in Edinburgh were called at the start of the interview? What was it you called them?
Yaz.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm asking that is because my eldest started Heriot Watt in September.
So you've got Edinburgh University, right? Heriot Watt is good, so like, I'm assuming she's doing some sort of like engineering or like maths.
Yeah.
So see that's like a good one. That's on the outskirts of Edinburgh, right? So that's not too bad. And actually they're a lot more down to earth. But see Edinburgh Uni. Listen, my sister went to Edinburgh Uni, but normally anybody who comes up to Edinburgh Uni is just like, you walk through Edinburgh, everybody's like talking with a really thick English accent, but it's very like, you know what I mean, from Devon or like it's just something like, I don't know. It's just really strange. So they get called Yaz because they say Yaz.
Cool.
None of that in Dublin.
We go for the quiz, lads.
Yeah, let's say.
I not football. We haven't talked any football yet.
I know we haven't done any football.
We haven't talked any football.
No?
Oh, we can chat football in between the quiz, yeah.
We can.
Yeah,
and there may be some football-related questions in there. So
yeah, exactly. So we can extrapolate on those as long as the boys have got a bit of time.
Here you go, Chris.
Loaded quiz 2.
Oh, you got it this week. Well done.
Done that for you, Mart. I'm back now.
Well done, lad. Well done.
Here's the leaderboard.
Okay, so loaded leaderboard. So, boys, we had a new leader from last week. So it's the Drift with 18 points. And then in joint seconds, we've got the Outcharms and Felix Hill. In fourth, we've got the Void. In fifth, we've got Garden Party. In sixth, we've got Jack Cattell. And then obviously we've got yourselves to be confirmed, boys. And you'll notice Jay Tennant is also on there. We are going to arrange a quiz for Jay because unfortunately he was having some technical issues when he came on. So we played all of Jay's music because we want to get the tunes out for him. But we're going to come back and do the quiz, aren't we, boys? On a separate occasion.
We should do, yeah.
Okay, so boys, are you ready for the quiz?
Absolutely not.
Are we a team? I mean, Michael, a team in this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Aye, good.
And do you know what? The common theme this season has been, as a panel, we'll try and give you the hands. We're coming to the close of the season. So if we have any really difficult ones, I'm hoping there is no particularly difficult ones. But in case there is, I'm sure the boys will be on hand to give you the hands as well.
And if there's a thirst, lads, just give us a shout. We'll sort that out. Sorry,
do you know what, Daz? You played a few of these England bits now. If Scotland do by chance beat England, you realise we're never going to live this down.
Hey, no, look, I have Scotland stuff as well. I've got the Scottish team that we have to talk about as well. So I've got loads of Scotland stuff.
Let's get through that, right?
Loads of Celtic stuff. So yeah.
Right. Let's get this quiz done. Then we go. No, I hope the lads have got time.
Right, I will whiz through this as quickly as I can, boys. Okay, so. The housekeeping, we've got 13 questions and there's 16 points up for grabs as always, with a possibility of 4 bonus points. Now bearing in mind, boys, you know that the top of the leaderboard's got 18 points, so you're gonna have to go some. Okay, right, question number 1, and you may have to excuse the pronunciation here, but the boys will understand why I've asked this question. Celtic defender Christopher Ayer, I got told it was Ayer. Yeah, Ayer. Okay, yeah. Wears what number shirt for Celtic? Oh, you can kind of see the start of it on his shorts there. So what number shirt does he wear for Celtic?
Is it 34, Joe?
I thought it was 4, but it doesn't look like a 4.
No, it's definitely 30-something.
Ah, it's 34.
Aye.
Oh.
35.
35. We're going 35.
There you go, boys. Well done. Okay. Second question we've got. This is a bit of an oldie as well, but I think you'll get it. Which former Celtic captain was the first British person to win the European Cup with a non-British team?
Paul Lambert. Is it Paul Lambert, Joe? He's the first
Paul
one.
Lambert, Borussia Dortmund.
Aye. I've watched so many documentaries on that.
That's where I go to.
Yeah. Well done, boys. Okay. I got a funny answer to this before about when I asked the wife this one. Which part of the body did the musician Gene Simmons from the band Kiss insure for $1 million? She said the one you're all probably thinking.
Yeah, Joe's right.
Big tongue, man. He's big, massive tongue.
Yeah, she thought it was the big, massive something else. I had to correct her. Right.
Sounds like small work.
Okay, question number 4. Who played Neo in the film The Matrix?
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait now, Joe. I was asking Joe, right? It's no Neo is the guy, the other guy.
Neo is to be honest, I've never seen The Matrix, but I thought
I have, mate.
Neo was Keanu Reeves. That's what I would have said. But
no. Neo is the other boy that Keanu Reeves finds.
Right.
Quite a good
Who else
film.
is in that? Samuel Jackson.
Can I give you a hand? Just stick with your first answer.
Keanu Reeves.
Was it?
Yeah.
Aye, man. So he was the main guy in that, eh?
Yeah, that just shows you how much that movie.
The other guy was Morpheus, which was Lawrence Fishburne.
I thought it was a trick one. I thought it was like that's far too simple. Keanu Reeves.
I know it's a dead easy one. I do throw a few simple ones in just to try and make things as easy as possible. Wow. Right, now this one's a bit harder, boys, so you might want to help with the panel on this one because it is a bit more difficult. So there's 4 points for this one, boys. Okay, so on the Abbey Road album cover from the Beatles, can you name me the order that the 4 Beatles crossed the road from start to finish? Bearing in mind there's only 4 options, you know what I mean? So it's who was at the front, second, third, fourth.
Do you know what? I love how you said you had some easy questions, then you just stuck this one straight in, Chris. You're an absolute.
I thought that. Well, no. To be fair, mate, that maybe I am being a bit harsh because that's like an iconic picture in Liverpool. Like I've seen that picture millions of times, but I thought everyone had seen it.
I'm sure.
I've seen it. We just don't memorize it.
Yo, I think it's George. Then I'm sure. Is it Paul second with the new shoes or? How's it go? Can
any of the boys give a hand here? Want to do a little collective?
I'm sure it's John Lennon at the start. I'm sure it is.
John Lennon, and then is Ringo not at the back, or is it George Harrison at the back?
I'm not too sure. I would go John, George, Oh, Ringo, then Paul, then George or Ringo.
Right,
You're nearly there. You're nearly there.
Why don't we just... Oh, nearly there. So, John...
So you got the right one at the top. You got the right one third. And then it's
Right.
which one you want to do on second and fourth.
I think George is at the back. But what you... So, Joe, so are we saying...
Who jinks at the back, Nick? Will you go for it?
George. I think George is
George
at
at the back.
That's what I think. So I'm going to say John, Ringo, Paul.
Yeah.
And then George. You get it?
Spot on, boys. Spot on. Spot
That's
on.
a tough question.
Yeah, sorry guys. I thought that was I thought that was me being all right, but never mind. Sorry. Okay. In the phonetic alphabet, what word is used for the letter V?
Victor.
Straight in.
I have a feeling about tonight's quiz.
Oh, I love. By the way, I love this question. I think it's that funny. So please laugh. Okay. So I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Is a quote from which film?
Snakes on a plane.
Well done, boys. That was a difficult one, that wasn't it? Right. So, at the age of nearly 37, named the oldest player to make his Celtic debut. So he was 37 when he made his debut for Celtic, and I have got a little clue if you need it, and it is only a little one.
So I'm going to run through, right? Because I'm thinking, Joe, can it be Lubo? Because Lubo was at the end of his career.
Lubo was about 30, 31.
He wasn't 37. Well, I'm trying to think.
Think about players that we brought in, Carlton Cole.
Carlton Cole, maybe, but 37, I'm sure. Mind you.
He is a striker, but it's not Carlton Cole.
He's a striker.
And he could also play centre-back, if you
Oh,
wanted to know.
So I was going to say Chris Sutton there, but he can't. No, it's not him. He can also
Dion
play-
Dublin or something like that.
Was it Dion
One of
Dublin?
these boys that have came up for England at the end of their career. I don't know. No, that's all day.
But Dion Dublin did, and he was kind of. But then I don't know enough about Dion Dublin.
Did he not
I don't know
go
if he was
straight
that
for
part, yeah.
Celtic? Did he not go straight for Celtic to Homes Under the Hammer?
Aye.
That was your clue. That was your clue.
All right, okay, all
He's
right.
gone
Dion
up to
Dublin.
onto the hammer.
We'll stick with Dion Dublin.
Is it Dion Dublin?
It's Dion Dublin. That's a great shout, Joe. Great shout. Okay, mate. So, question number 9. This one is a weird one. In Georgia, it is illegal to eat what food with a fork?
Oh.
Don't.
Martin, I think you preempted the maximum score here, like.
I know. That's what I just said. I've got a funny feeling about this quiz.
I'm
Just
trying to
jinxed
what
it.
eat in Georgia. Is that no? That's
I know.
like.
It's the capital of this food, apparently. Georgia.
I don't know much
You're
about
not mad
Georgia.
into shrimp.
I think I know. Was there recently a Justin Bieber song about this?
No, I don't think so.
Was it
I'm
not?
trying to-
I'm
I'm
thinking
picturing
about something
Justin-
completely
I'm
different.
picturing Justin Bieber singing that now, but no, I don't think so.
Not
What are
like,
you thinking?
I don't know, man, because I'm thinking that's like shrimp and like beans and like.
I think I've got an idea, Chris.
Man,
Do you
I'm
want
not-
to jump in? Do you
Yeah,
want
I
to-
Give him a clue, Rich, if you think you've got an idea, mate. Give him a clue, and I'll tell you if they're on the right lines.
There's a fast food chain that has a kernel.
Wow, so fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Fried chicken. It's illegal. It's illegal to eat fried chicken with a fork in Georgia.
No way. I
Wow.
can eat
Yeah.
fried chicken with fork anyway.
That's crazy.
See,
I
not
did
only
not
is this a
know
good
that.
quiz,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a knowledge
educational.
quiz. It's an educational quiz.
That's all in there now. I'll know that next time I'm in Georgia.
Yeah, you can keep that one. Right. Next question, boys. Nice, easy one. You'll fly through this. Can you name
To
me
be
4
fair,
ways
hang on,
to
sorry,
cook an
Chris,
egg?
to be fair, nobody's looking at the comments because whoever is doing your YouTube tonight for the Dictator Band actually had the right answer.
Oh, nice.
Nice, nice.
Deep fried
Sorry,
chicken.
I was putting up the teams on Twitter for the vote.
Well done.
So, for question number 10, boys, can you name me 4 ways to cook an egg?
Right, Joe. Let's compare. You can boil it. You can fry it.
Right.
Um,
Grambo.
scramble
You
it,
can poach it.
and you can poach
There
it.
you go.
Aye. So poach, boil, scramble, and fry.
Well done, boys. Comfy. Okay, next question. What is a newborn horse called?
Michael, I'm talking with my partner here. I believe it might be a foal.
Yes, you are right, Joe. Foal.
I like the confirmation there. You are right. Okay, now this one is I like to throw in a bit of a Newcastle and whatever club we're talking about for theme. So you'll like this one. Can you name me a striker? I only want one. Can you name me a striker who has played for both Celtic and Newcastle?
Did they? Oh, wait, now actually.
I found three.
I can name a midfielder. Left mid. Does that count?
As a striker.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there are people offloaded who've put strikers in wingers positions and stuff. So
Can I
who's counting?
Good night, Mark.
Not me. Not me.
Yeah, I'll give you a clue. He was a raggy bastard.
Yeah.
Michael, talking to Michael here. I think it might be Craig Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy. Aye, I think so. I was going to say. I was actually going to say, oh, is it maybe Sutton because it's Sutton and Shearer? But remembering
Chelsea.
that was for aye. So, but yeah, no, I think you're right there, Joe. Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, that's a good one, boys. That's a good one. Okay, and the last one, which you're gonna storm. The last one in 2001, which Celtic player won Europe's Golden Boot Award?
2004.
2001. In 2001, which Celtic player won Europe's Golden Boot Award?
I know this one.
Got to get that.
Could be a
Well, so is it? So I'm thinking, Joe. It must be Larson, right? But I don't want to be dedicated. I'm getting some nods. So I'm like, I didn't know why to jump in and say that because it's the only kind of one. So Henrik Larsson.
Magnificent Seven. Henke.
Fantastic, boys. Fantastic. Okay, well, boys, I can confirm, based on that, you got every question right. So absolutely fantastic there. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what? That was with minimal help as well. Minimal help. So well done there, boys.
The rest easy.
Absolutely great there. But we have the small problem now of whether to go for 2 bonus points or 4 bonus points. Now, if you go for 2 bonus points, boys, you can have one more question off me, and I'll ask you a question, and if you get it right, you get 2 bonus points. Or you can take on challenge loaded, and this means you can ask one of us a question, and you get 2 extra bonus points. 2 of us an extra question, you get 3 bonus points. Or you can ask the whole panel a question, and you'll get 4 bonus points if we can't answer the question.
Joe, will we go for 4?
You will be top of the leaderboard if you get it, boys.
Brave.
So we need to ask the question.
Yeah.
And you've got to hope that one of us don't know the answer.
Has it got to be football related, or can it be?
No, it can be whatever you want.
Or general knowledge, whatever.
Yeah.
We did put a message in the Twitter to give you warned about this. I don't know whether you saw it.
No, we did, but we had one prepared. I didn't realise it might be across the 4. But so how many points are we on now?
So you're on 16.
You're on 16 here.
16 secured. You've got that.
We go for glory, right?
Go for glory.
I think we just go for glory. You need to try and think of some questions. I've got one.
No, you just need one.
You only need one, but hope that we don't have the answer.
It's to all of us. It's to all of us.
Aye, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's fine then. I've got one.
Right, go for it, Michael. I better be a fucking hard in here.
I couldn't believe the answer to this, and see, after that quiz you've just done there, I feel really bad because this isn't at the type of level. That's why I'm like, nobody might get this, right? I was looking for, and I'm hoping you've not seen any stats in this recently, how many Player of the Month awards Lionel Messi has won in his entire career.
Mate, that's a belter question, man. That's a belter question.
Are we allowed to use Keith Roll? Our resident stato.
He's our stato, yeah.
And do not look at the chats, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Keith can confirm it and see if he gets it right. But wow, so Player of the Month, how many times has won it?
And he's still career La Liga.
See, now I've read something here, boys, and I could be wrong, but I've read something, and it's just popped in the back of my mind. I've read somewhere, I'm sure, and I might look like an idiot now, that the figure is ridiculously low considering it's Lionel Messi.
That's what I was
like
thinking
it should be well higher, but it's not.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those, and it's a trick question. You'd expect it to be like every second game, but it's actually not.
But even if he was winning Player of the Month, say he won it every month for all the years he's been there, the figure would still be ridiculous. But it's something smaller, isn't it? But I mean, no, I wouldn't know it.
So that'll be 4 points to us. No.
Go on, go for a guess, right. Chris.
Go on, Chris.
Pete, do you want to give it hands? Rich, anything?
Player of the Month award in his career.
Given that we do, given that I normally take a punt outside of the teams that we would expect to win on Loaded Leaderboard, I'm actually going to go with none.
None?
Yeah.
I think he has, but I think it's going to be single figures.
I'm going to go 12.
Let's go with Pete. Pete's the. We'll go with Pete this one. Are we happy with 12 boys as a collective?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 points in the bag, Joe, my man. So it's 8. 8.
Keith was right.
And just to confirm that, Keith Rollow got it in the chat 8 times.
Oh,
no way! I turned off the chat.
That is
ridiculous. I didn't want to see the answer.
8.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I did say I thought it'd be single figures.
Yeah, you did, Rich. You did. But I mean, isn't that?
I wasn't far off with none, though.
No, you were, mate. He's actually winning it, isn't he? I mean, how long's he been at Barca?
Yeah.
It must be a couple figures.
How many Cristiano Ronaldo's got just as a backup? Right, you boys can have
7.
a wee pat in the back. You saying
must
7?
be well heavier. Must be well heavier than 8.
Because that's the thing. It's like heavily weighted to like more like Real Madrid, Barcelona, kind of outside of that, right?
17
like differently, right? So I thought, wow,
17 is
wow. He's won it 3 times.
Oh, what?
That's ridiculous. It must be because all the kind of players now just like, I'm not fucking giving it to him because he's getting everything else.
See when you go to like Player of the Month in the English League, like Premier League, I think there's always like if Messi was in the Premier League, he'd be the golden boy. Like
yeah.
I actually think that the La Liga is really good at like it's random people. It's like Nolito, or it'll be random people who get the award.
Yeah.
And it's really strange.
You probably find somebody like Iniesta or like one of those like Mascherano when he was there. Probably players like that have more than him, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
so Messi's been there.
Iniesta.
Messi's been there double figures at Barca, and he's won. So that means he's won less than 1 a year.
Yeah. But if you find out the surprising stat, did anyone else see that stat this week about the Spain squad? That's been announced for the Euros. There's
not one Real Madrid player.
Yeah, not one Real Madrid.
I did see the tweet that followed that somebody said that they put the picture up of your man Real Madrid's owner and said, "Sure, we're just going to buy our own. We're going to pay for our own Euros." Which I thought was funny.
Yes, well,
the backup Spanish squad that they never included. It is unreal, like unbelievable, because they've got like Isco, you've got Ansu Fati, and you're sitting there going, that team could probably win the Euros. And
it's not even there. Wow.
But honestly, I think they've kind of done this a bit daft. I think there's other reasons that they've not brought certain people.
It'll all be political, won't it?
There's a few political, yeah.
Why is it not
going to be about the Super League? Is it not about the Super League? Is that why the Real Madrid?
Well, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus have been UEFA have committed proceedings today because they've yet to formally withdraw from the Super League. So,
so is that why Real Madrid have been left out then?
Don't know. Anyway, Krista, what does that do to the leaderboard before we talk about the Celtic for the last couple of minutes?
We've got brand new leaders, 20 points, the maximum possible 20. Points. Boys, it's unreal.
That's going to take some. Well, I mean, you physically cannot beat that. You can only equal it. So
no. Top of the shop, lads.
Yeah,
Top of
don't
the
worry.
Our
shop.
winners are joint winners, and there's only about 3 shows left.
Three shows,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you're
End
no,
of June,
this-
end of June, yeah.
Quiz 2.
End of June.
yeah. And the good
Very
news is the prize for you guys top on the leaderboard is you have to bring all of us over to Scotland for free and put us up and bring us out drinking all day. So
Free
yeah,
bar, free bar, free bar.
yeah. Exactly. No, well done, boys. That was amazing.
Nah, it's fantastic.
So let's talk for the last few minutes. Celtic, obviously, no 10 in a row. Ayrton, Newcastle, Stevie G, and the Blue Hun romping the league. What the fuck is going on with the green and white side of Glasgow, lads?
Total and utter capitulation. It's just, yeah. To be fair, right? And Joe, you'll probably weigh in on this as well, right? It's been, for football, the last 14 months or whatever it's been shite, right? Excuse the French, but it's not been the same, right? And there was a lot of pressure on winning 10 in a row. You could probably say, like, should it have been, should it not have been, whatever, right? But we have went from winning a quadruple treble, right? Which we will never see again in our lives. And as much as people might say, criticise the league, you can only win what's in front of you.
Yeah,
and when you look at how other bigger clubs like PSG, you've got like, basically it's like, and obviously Juventus as well. You're sitting there going, it's not just like a thing. It's completely ripped how clubs operate. And like, genuinely, there was a point during this season where like we had 8 first-team players isolating for COVID, right? And there was reasons that they shouldn't have done what they were doing. They were over in Dubai, even though it was allowed, whatever, right? But with 8 first-team players, we were playing against Livingston, right, which is actually just where we are from. And it was like 3 times in 3 weeks, and it was like 3 different teams, right? Just down to COVID. So see, as much as you can be annoyed and angry and like disappointed with this season, we will look back and go like, that was mental. Like that was absolutely mental. Like, you know what I mean? You're coming back, our best strikers like isolated about 4 times in one season, and he's still finished top of the like leaderboard for scorer. And you're just going like, it's just kind of went to pot, right? But you have to kind of realize that, see, when we look back, we'll probably not be as like bitter as we are right now, because we'll be like, well, like Neil Lennon will go away and he'll be like, well, what was I supposed to do? Like all of the new
Neil
players
Lennon shouldn't have been there.
Exactly, yeah, he should never have been there. But at the same time, like he even might have, like he never done as good as he should have, right? Regardless, even though he was instilled. And I didn't agree with Lennon getting the job. We went from Brendan Rodgers to Neil Lennon, right? A lot of the players there are just kind of like, they're coming on, their coaching is amazing. And not to say Lennon's not a good coach, it's just he was painted in to be something by the fans, me included, right? That I don't know, it was just a kind of really negative atmosphere around the whole club. And there was a point in the season where you could see it going, and they never done anything. They actually doubled down and went, nah, he's our man. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where it was like, well, what do we do? Because now it's too late. And like Rangers won the league in like basically January, but I'd came to terms with it in October, which is you know, like
it's like going from Rafa Benitez to Steve Bruce, isn't it? It's like very, very similar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worse.
And I do think
Worse.
when you go, Joseph, worse.
No,
like,
worse than that.
No, there's nothing worse than that.
It can't be worse than that.
Nothing worse than that.
I'll tell you what, if we said to you that Steve Bruce was taking over from your gaffer next year, how would you be feeling?
So see,
exactly.
I see it as it really can't get any worse than what it is now.
Yeah.
But is there not part of the Celtic thing, the likes of obviously Scott Brown is finishing up, and albeit the 10 in the row and stuff, and you know, you take out the quadruple and everything else, there's probably been a bit of a rebuild coming in Celtic, I would say, watching Scottish football when it's on, probably for the last 2 seasons at least, if not more. So I think if when you take the Lennon situation aside and you look at kind of the players that Celtic have had, this point probably not. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't envisage Rangers to do and what they did, and obviously with the season with COVID and everything else, it's a completely weird fucking season and everything that's gone on around it. But I don't think anybody really expected Rangers to be where they were by January. But I think as a obviously there's a huge Celtic following in Ireland, as there is Celtic and Rangers in the north. But looking at it living over here, watching Celtic on a Saturday, whatever, listening and stuff, I would have kind of said they've probably been on a downward spiral for the last 2, if not 3 seasons, because some players haven't really been performing. I mean, they left Forrest out and he came back in. He's played really well second half of the season. And, they've got, some good players, but kind of like Newcastle, you've got some that make the team and make it tick, but then you've got a level of mediocrity as well. And I think Celtic for me need a top manager. As you said, Mick, you can only beat what's in front of you, but I just think the team needs a real revamp as well. I think it's gone stale, if that makes sense. As an outsider looking in,
everybody put their eggs into this 10 in a row basket. That's how I genuinely feel, right? So Scott Brown kept this season, kept going because and he was going to leave at the end of the season regardless of us winning the 10 in a row, right? And that was going to need to happen. A lot of these players, like we talked about Christopher Ayer earlier on. I'm surprised we've kept a hold of him. There he is. I'm surprised we've kept a hold of him for as long as we have, because genuinely, I do think that he. I remember when, and by the way, do not get it crossed. I am not comparing him to Virgil van Dijk, right? I am not. However, there was a couple.
That's a shame.
But Boyata, Dedrick Boyata was another player, and there was a guy who was actually partnered with Van Dijk. I can't remember his name. Denayer, right? Denayer is now.
Yeah.
He's a really solid player. I remember watching Denayer going, he's amazing. He's quick. He's confident on the ball. He's a brilliant defender. Ayer under the right coach will actually go to the top in my eyes, right? I genuinely think he's that player. And I know that's like a big shout, but I've seen loads of Celtic players who have came in and went there, and the type of caliber of player it is, like Moussa Dembele with Atletico Madrid. Although he's not getting a game, you can tell. So the fact that we've held on to Christopher Ayer is amazing, but he's away. He's away this season. He's away at the end of this season. I'd be surprised if it goes the full transfer window, but there is no way we're going to tie him into a contract. And I just think there's this. I don't know. It's really hard, right? Because you have to remove yourself. I don't like just criticising everybody and anybody, right? So the first protocol is Neil Lennon. Oh, he's fucking shite, whatever, right? Then it's the board, sack a lot of them, right? Get rid of them all. But actually, these guys are genuinely Celtic fans, right? like everybody kind of hated Peter Law and stuff like that. The boy's a Celtic fan. He might not have much in common with the common man, right? But he is a Celtic fan, and he's always said he's like a kind of custodian of the club and stuff. He's not going out his way to do this. This is not how he wanted to end the Celtic reign, right? He didn't decide to do that. It's just, I think, as you say, it was becoming staler and staler, and nobody really seemed to be bothered. No one wanted to put the kind of wolf in the chickens and go, this is all changing. This needs to happen now. And seeing any other season in the lead up to this, if Neil Lennon, regardless of how his prestige as the manager of the club, had the run of results he had, he'd have been sacked. But for whatever reason, be it pandemic, be it nostalgia for going for the 10, whatever it may be, they kept him in a job. And it turned the fans against them because they doubled down and basically said, you're wrong, we're right. And we could see that wasn't the right thing. That wasn't the right path. And because of that, we started losing,
drifting along
the league, and it was just a horrible negative atmosphere. And it was almost like laying blame on us for being negative. And I'm like, well, I've paid £700 for my season book, and I'm watching this getting streamed, and you don't really care how we feel. It's just there's a lot of things, but I just think it's it needed to have happened, right? It's like popping a balloon, and I do think that I remember when Rangers beat us in one of the cups, and it was the springboard for Brendan Rodgers.
That's when he beat us semi-final.
This isn't happening. We're not getting beat by Rangers in the lower leagues. They're not coming back and doing whatever. And I do think that this season is a wake-up call. And then they've had to reorganise the structure of the full club. If they bring in someone like Eddie Howe, then hope for the best. But we've got Champions League qualifiers in 4 weeks, right? And the short-sightedness continues because we're sitting there going, right, well, how is he going to turn that team who have lost the league and all the trophies they entered into getting through Champions League qualifiers? It's just, I don't know. It's a tough one. You can never answer it right, but that's just my kind of
you know what? Do you know what I've got to say as well, boys? Dead quick. I've got to say, I totally take your point, and you probably won't like me saying this, but I think we have got to acknowledge as well that like Rangers did go unbeaten, so they've they have upped it a notch. But I totally take your point. You know, you've not been the same this season. It hasn't panned out. Should you have sacked Lennon? Should you have not? But what I wanted to ask you as well, just dead quick, is all the hype around Edouard to be believed? Is he that good? Is he Moussa Dembele, or is he better than Moussa Dembele?
See what you say first.
I will say, especially the second half of this season, he has been absolutely hopeless. Like, you just know every time he gets the ball, you know exactly what he's doing. He's had a couple of wee moments of magic, but I still believe, but he's one of these players in a better environment. He's top class. Definitely.
So I would say he's better than Moussa Dembele in my head, right? Genuinely. But Moussa Dembele never switched off for the big games while he was here. And as your point, exactly, man, the second half of this season, he's been murder, right? But see, there was a golden period of like last season, probably the first half of last season. Watching this guy play football was like watching Larson back in the day. Like it was like a joy to actually see him. He was banging in free kicks. If we had a free kick round the box, he was going to score it. If you got him through, he was going to score it. He won it was a treble, the goal against Hearts, and he chips the keeper, right? That season for me was unreal. And I do think he can hit those heights again. I just think he's in the wrong place right now, where actually I just don't think his motivation's good. I think anybody's is, but I genuinely think he could rise above Dembele because of the type of player he is. It's almost like Henry type. Like he's not a target man. He's not like I'm going to stand and bang in goals like John Hartson would. He's a silky, really quick footballer who loves to like dribble through people and can also run and pass and score from all angles. And I think he's exciting to watch on his day.
Do you think he's switched? Do you think he's completely switched off then this season? Is that why you saw the downturn in his form? Is he already sort of?
Is he on his way?
Yeah, is his mind already been out of the club then?
See, personally, right, he's played amazing for France under-21s, right? For his French national team, he's been brilliant, and for Celtic, he's not, right? But at the same time, he came back and had to isolate. I think it was twice he had to isolate. Once for Dubai and the other one for coming back from the French squad where there was an outbreak of coronavirus, right?
Right.
Now, I don't know, but what does that do to your fitness? If you go away for a training camp for 2 weeks and come back, I don't know what that does, right? But and I get that players just turn up and play, but did the fitness team at Celtic say, take it easy? You're off, like you're not playing this game. You're not getting a full 90 minutes. You're not getting a full, like you'll play this half, you'll play that half. We need to get you working on these days and doing double sessions on that other. I don't know what happens in the background, but I can't imagine having to isolate twice when you want to be the best striker in the league, being very motivating. And he had a pal at Celtic called Oliver Ncham, who was French as well, right? And
we've been linked with him as well.
He's away. He left. So in my head...
Is he Marseille, Mike?
Yeah, Marseille, and the boy left there. Andrew Villas-Boas went, nah.
That meant Villas-Boas left, didn't he? Because he said I didn't want him. Yeah.
But Villarreal put their first penalty away, lads.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't want to interrupt his boys, but I'll quite happily run you through the commentary of these penalties. So Gerard Moreno has just put Villarreal 1-0 up. Pogba's got off, so Pogba's not going to be taking the penalty, and he looked quite happy about it actually, which was unusual because normally Pogba used to take the penalties for Man U, didn't he? So
Juan Mata with the first one for United.
Juan Mata. Oh, it was a good pen. Good pen.
What a pen.
He buried it in the top left. Yeah. And that's why they've still kept hold of Mata, isn't it? Because he's big occasion player. Great finish.
They brought him on with like a minute to go.
Yeah.
Just for the
penalty. Calm, though. So calm. They brought Alex Telles on as well. Same thing.
Yeah.
And obviously for the penalty. Yeah. Okay, so that's 1-1. De Gea's bouncing the ball on the spot, making it nice and nervy for the Villarreal player who's about to step up now and have a go. It's 1-1.
He's going to miss
this. Looks a bit nervous to me. Oh, easy as you like.
Down the middle. Wow.
Straight down the middle, 2-1 Villarreal.
That's a good pen.
Who have you boys got? Villarreal.
I said Villarreal.
Yeah, you said Villarreal pens, didn't you, Mart?
I did. I said Villarreal on pens. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Good call.
And that was that before kickoff, or was that like partway through the game?
No, that was before kickoff. It's in the chat
Before
somewhere.
kickoff, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
near the start, yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Fuck, I wish
And
I
there's
could get
Alex
them right
Tellez, the substitute. So they've used
Yeah.
the 2 subs as the first 2 pen takers. We've had Mata who scored, and now Alex Tellez who's come on to score a pen. Let's hope he doesn't disappoint. He's stepping up. Here he comes. Slow run up.
Great pen.
Nice pen. Sent the keeper
Imagine
the wrong
that
way.
left back has been on the bench the whole season. And
Yeah.
he's slotting away a penalty in the ball.
He's enjoying it.
Certainly
He's enjoying
celebrating
it.
anyway.
Yeah. Very good pen.
Okay, mate, calm down.
I was saying to Pete, I don't know what it is, Mart, but I really want Man United to win. And I don't know why, because I've not got any feeling towards Man United whatsoever. In fact, because I'm from Liverpool, you think I'd hate Man United, but I want Man United to win.
So Ollie stays in his job, mate. You don't try and pretend.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh,
Oh, he should have had it.
He should have
He
saved
should have had
that.
it. Yeah.
He should have saved that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm
Villarreal just took one in.
Good goalkeeping that.
He went the right way. Oh, it's a weak hand.
He's there. He
It's a
was
weak hand.
there.
Nick,
He got
Nick,
that
just
as well.
Nick, just while we're on, I remember watching Van Dijk when he was at Celtic, and I always thought he was a fantastic prospect then, and obviously it turned out that way when he came down here. Does Aya have that capability? I know we've been linked with him, and obviously there's a lot of hype about him, but has he got that capability to be, as good as people are some are saying?
I'll need to see
Oh.
it. Because I didn't think, like, when Van Dijk went down to Southampton, although he was good, he wasn't as big as what he was now. I would say I think he's got a bit about him. He's passionate.
I think he is. Personally, I would say
That was
absolutely,
close.
right? Because I just think that, see up here, he gets found out with doing certain things, right? He goes on a mazy run for centre half. He goes on a mazy run for centre half, and he finds he's selling really good attacking positions. He used to be a midfielder, and he slots balls in, and he's capable of banging some goals in. Right? He wouldn't do that for Newcastle. He wouldn't do that, right?
But mind Van Dijk was doing that as well.
Disciplined.
Exactly, I know why. And like when he went down to Southampton, he got found out he's doing that. And also, see down there, you don't get pressed as hard as you do up in Scotland, just because everybody just runs at the ball sometimes, right? And it's just because they don't press as hard there, because when you do in the Premier League, the players around you are capable of passing it through you. And I think Christopher Ayer on the right, like with Newcastle, I would say he would be phenomenal.
Cool.
8 million is the money that's been talked about. I think
Marcus Rashford's just stepping up here, boys. It's 4-3 to Villarreal. He's taking the stuns run up. Oh, good pen. Good pen.
Yeah, very good.
4-4.
Rashford's never gonna miss that.
I thought Ayer would be worth more than 8 million, by the way. Sorry, the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be worth more.
He's only got a year.
okay.
We're getting a bargain there, Mike.
Newcastle will only pay about 3.5, and then the other 1.5 that we try and blag will be paid over the next 7 years, Mick. So I wouldn't worry about it.
How tall is he? How tall is
I
he?
know he's
Really?
massive. He
Is he
looks
like
massive.
7 foot?
he looks tall.
Look at him.
Big lanky fucker.
Look, looks like Peter Crouch-esque.
I know he's filled out a bit since then, by the way. That's like when he was a few years younger. He's actually a little bit more of a unit now.
Wow.
A lot taller than that security guard behind him.
6'6".
6'6". Wow.
Oh, De Gea, what are you doing?
He is awful at saving penalties.
Mate.
Jesus Christ.
Pereo's just
What
hit,
was that?
Awful.
What kind
Pereo's
of, what
just
was
hit a
that for an
penalty.
effort?
and it's gone pretty much central. Yeah, well, just to
And
the
it
left.
was it was a kind of fucking waist height.
Yeah, it was the right height and everything.
It would have actually
What's
died to the
doing?
board. He'd have had it.
Look at that.
Awful goalkeeping.
You just saved that, Rich.
I doubt it. I'm only 5'8".
Mate, it was on level. It was about there.
Oh,
It was his fucking waist.
Cavani to miss. He's kind of got them there.
Cavani.
I know he's had that. Nah, he's not going to miss.
Oh,
He's
it's a
not gonna
good
miss.
pen. It's a good pen.
5.
Okay,
what's
boys,
that,
that's 5-5. 5-5. So now we're going to
Sudden
have
death.
penalty takers who we don't want.
It'll be Fred.
That was I said good pen. That was a great pen.
Yeah.
That was a great pen.
If you've joined us late, welcome to Loaded Penalty Shootout. We talk you through the pens.
Hey, it could be 13-13, Daz. Hey, we'll be on till about 11, mate. Ollie's looking nervous.
This will be a save.
Oh, here we go.
Miss. I'm saying miss.
Oh, De Gea, man.
In the middle, mate.
Well, it's down the middle, to be fair. Sold him down the middle.
I mean, I think in fairness, you ever get a penalty, that's all I would do. Just straight down the fucking middle.
Mark it. Absolutely leather.
Yeah, put your laces through it, lads. Come on,
Do you know what, though? If he just waited that fraction more, he'd have got that.
It would have hit his legs.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the fact that De Gea hasn't been anywhere near one of them.
Fred is missing. 100%.
I know, I did say Fred's missing.
Wow.
He's selfish.
Big Fred. He doesn't look happy taking this pen.
You don't want this. You don't want this.
I hope he does. I'd laugh
Left
his
foot.
head off.
Oh!
What a penalty, by the way.
You know what? That's actually a good pen.
It is.
John Linton style.
I'd love to see why the keeper had his arms tucked in, though. Looked like the keeper never had his arms out. I'll have to see the replay.
That was a good pen.
No, it was a great pen.
Yeah,
It was a great pen. Yeah, great pen.
Keep it nowhere near it.
Martin Gently, they will have the audacity to try a sharp penalty.
Can I just say, not because he's French or anything, but I actually hate Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
I despise everything he represents in the modern footballer.
Albiol with a lovely little tuck in the bottom corner sends De Gea the wrong way.
That was right in the corner as well.
Yeah.
He's a class player, to be fair, for Villarreal.
Yeah,
I don't
he
mind
is.
Pogba,
He is.
by the way. I think he's ruined at Man United. I don't think he's a Man United player. I don't know how to describe that other than I just don't think he's a Man United player. I think in the right team he would thrive. See with Juventus, I loved him.
Yeah. Bruno's outshone him, hasn't he? Bruno Fernandes since he's come in.
Yeah, he has.
And James O'Dear. Oh, not a bad pen, to be fair.
Well done, lads. Well done.
Hurry up, boys. Eh? Fucking hell.
You know what, though?
Welcome to the Dictator Show.
You see it going Villarreal's way just because David De Gea is getting nowhere near these penalties.
No, he's not. He's
nowhere near. He's going.
If we wait long enough, it'll be time for this game.
Yeah, it will.
Yes.
It's 7-7 on pens, boys. We're about to have the 8th one from Villarreal. Coquelin, if you remember him from Arsenal.
Yeah,
this is a miss.
Think? He looks like he's shot at
it. Top bin.
Was it?
Top bin, mate.
Oh yeah, that's decent. I'm about a second behind from watching on my phone.
Top bin, mate.
She was all right. Replay that now.
Yeah, we'll take that.
That was gone. That was continuing to go up there, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it actually hit the roof of the net, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
I will just say though, these have been some good penalties. So
yeah, they have.
Yeah,
they have.
To be fair.
Here he is, big Luke Shaw.
And Man United are in a disadvantage here because as soon as they miss a penalty, it's over. It's done.
Yeah, I know.
So they've got to score. All the pressure on Man United.
He's
got
in.
I can't watch anymore, right? See my stream. I think I'm 2 penalties behind you. I'm off, right, boys. I'm gone. I'm actually busting on a piss now, anyway.
Oh yeah.
No worries, bud. Joe, too much detail, but thanks very much, buddy.
Thanks for coming on, Joe.
Take it easy, lad.
Talk to you again, buddy.
Good luck, mate.
Take care, Joe. Take care, mate. Wayne Mooney's in the stands, boys.
Yeah,
taking one.
Yeah, it's
good. Earlier.
Yeah.
Now.
Who have we got now? Who's this? I don't recognise him.
Some excellent goalkeeping here, by the way.
The 9th penalty. This guy doesn't look. He doesn't look. De Gea's going to save this.
Oh,
good pen.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I have to call one of these right soon.
Tell you what, the way it's going, De Gea's going to have to take a pen.
Someone
There's a
said
miss coming.
15 earlier. Tempting fate.
Oh, the hands again.
Got into it. Wow.
Oh, she's made up with that.
Oh, fingertips. Get in there. Way up.
There you go, Marv.
Who's this? Tuanzebe? Oh dear.
Yeah, Tuanzebe.
Gotta love pain.
Oh, God.
Put your money on it.
Go on, mate. Go on. Oh, nice. Nice.
Nice. Ice
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah,
Ice cold.
yeah. Wow.
10,
I think
10
that, are we on number? Are we on
Jesus
number
Christ.
9? Is it 9 9?
No, it's penalty. It's 9-9. Penalty number 10.
Yeah,
coming up.
penalty number 10. Bloody hell.
Jesus
Tell you
Christ.
what, BT are
So
getting
who's
their
left then?
views.
Lindelof, is it? Want to be
Oh
Lindelof?
yeah, Lindelof. Wow.
Oh.
There's a miss coming. This next one. You can feel it. It's coming.
Oh, look at De Gea. I think he's using the old delaying tactics. Yeah, he's taking his time to get to the line.
Oh, this guy don't want it. He don't want it.
The centre half, man. He doesn't want to be doing this.
This is a great pen.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Cracking set of pens.
Oh.
This is why you just think Villarreal were just going to win it, because they're getting nowhere near them.
Nah.
Nope.
De Gea is getting nowhere near their penalties at all. It's a great pen.
Do you get the feeling they should have substituted Henderson on?
Yeah.
Holland.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There you go.
I mean,
I
that's
would've done it.
a saver. This
It's
is it.
Lindelof.
This
Lindelof,
is it.
This is it. Away.
This is it.
Lindelof
Get your money
scores.
on it. Get
Julie,
your
thanks
money
for
on it.
hanging in there.
Wow. Great pen.
Oh, my God, boys.
Jesus. Right, it's keeper time, isn't it? It's keeper time.
Oh, yeah, that was decent.
It's keeper time, boys.
Keith called that a while back. Watch. The gate
He
is going
did,
to win
yeah.
a penalty.
Oh, I'll tell you what, though. It was a good pen, but
Keepers
some
were-
of the keepers are.
Yeah,
Keepers are-
keepers are shite, aren't they?
Right, here's
Oh,
Wooly. Wooly, the Villarreal goalie, is stepping up against De Gea. He doesn't look comfy.
This is a miss.
Here he goes.
Oh, what a pen.
He's put it away, has he?
Mate, it's
Put it
lovely.
away.
It's lovely. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Oh, Peach. That's just a leathering, isn't it?
Thanks for hanging in with us, Dave.
I'd laugh me head off if they misses this.
Dave.
My stream is so far behind.
Oh,
Jesus.
dear.
All right, here comes De Gea to ruin it.
Oh, dear.
He
Well, he
scores.
must be fancying his. He must be fancying his chances here, Wooly.
Save!
Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it.
Deadly.
Villarreal have won it. Villarreal have won it. De Gea's cost them.
Oh, I mean, that's a brutal penalty.
Oh,
That's horrible. Never saved it. Boys, I need to jump. I'm actually getting shouted through.
Daggers.
No worries. Nick, absolute genuine star, mate. Real
Thanks for coming
pleasure
on,
having you
man.
on, pal.
Right, we do appreciate
Thanks very
it.
much, boys. We'll look after you. We'll keep shouting for you. Good luck. We'll talk soon. See you, lad.
Bye.
Good luck, Mick. Right.
wow.
Let's close out the show, lads. As you're keeping an eye on the match as well as. But yeah, what's happening next week?
I'm going to send Jamie a text.
Oh, God.
Next week we're back on Wednesday, 2nd of June. We're here with Vela Incident. Are going to join us. You can follow us on Twitter at LoadedHQ1, Instagram at LoadedHQ, and on YouTube at youtube.com/c/LoadedHQ. Anything else we want to do, lads? Anything else you want to say before we close the night? We're here.
I'm goosed.
This one must be like if we did a 24-hour show.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, we must get some tips off Dom. He did one of them, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone for sticking with us anyway, and for
Yes,
sticking with
Julie
the
and
shootout.
Dave and Keith and everybody. Thanks very much. That was a long, long night, but great show. Music was awesome. They were brilliant.
Congratulations to
Lads were
Villarreal.
Yeah, definitely.
They were class. And you know what, lads? I have another tune. We're going to play hide and seek again, one more time. No, but this time it's a different version. So the people that stayed with us, they get treated to this. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.
No worries. We'll see you next
thanks
week.
for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Anyone that's watching this back that has got to the 3 hour
I'd
mark.
advise you to watch, just watch this on a weekend when your kids have gone to bed, because you're going to need a lot of hours.
Okay. Talk to you later, everyone. Good night.
Take care. See you guys.
Good night.
Stood there together, would felt like forever. Don't you cry, it'll be all right. Just follow the music, let it lead you astray to my arms, to my no more happily ever after we would have names and different paths. Come on, you know where you follow some music, how to let you away from my arms. Why weren't you there from the start? Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you were by my side. Well, tell me how that's fair. Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you were by my side. Now listen when I say to you, this ain't hide and seek. You said you loved me once, now I'm obsolete. This ain't hide and seek. This ain't some game that we can be. Stood there forever, laughing and smiling. I looked into your eyes, and I lost my mind, but it was worth it, and I would do it again just to touch you, breathe in your skin. You're gonna let me in. Can you be lonely and in love? Never meant to leave you hung up, but you let me slide, never let me inside. Oh, I'm still with you. We were reckless and in love, but we grew up so out of touch. No matter what there's been on the days in between, I still love you. But where were you when I needed you there? Well, you were by my side. Well, tell me how that's fair. Where were you when I needed you there? Well, you were by my side. Now listen when I say to you, this ain't hide and seek. chance some game. We can be